if there's one in front of me.
So, should we kick this thing off?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Kick it!
Woohoo! All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. As you can see, we have a special guest today.
He's our special boy!
There we go.
he looks sweaty.
He's been working all day.
I might be a little bit warm. I do smell much like a huckleberry and a 13-year-old had a baby. Like from the armpit. I am fucking terrible smelling. Thank God you guys don't have Thank God you guys don't have smell-o-vision, because
Yeah.
like
Speaking about smell-o-vision, how about we don't blow your douche flute straight into the camera?
Oh, my bad.
Dumbass. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows you, but if not, if this is your first time joining in, this is Viko. He's our fearless leader.
allegedly.
That's why he's so sweaty. And then the normal co-host, the boat
What up,
goat,
everybody?
Mm-hmm.
and I'm the Jarl. So we've had a lot of stuff happen recently.
Crazy
Yeah.
weekend, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, we don't have to jump right into that, but I mean,
I meant
Just-
at the property. We had a great time.
oh yeah, we
were
had
freezing our
good
balls
times
off
there.
in the river, and JT worked all weekend at the meadery.
There was definitely not equal right there.
No, we were having a lot more fun than he was.
There's 100% of that that's going to come back in the future, and you guys will be like, help! And I'll be like, fuck you, can't hear you, I'm in a river, have fun.
Can't hear you over this bubbling brook.
Like, I'm sorry, there's a giant fish on my line, I can't tell you fuck off in any other language other than fuck off.
Exactly. So what are you guys drinking?
I got the yellow bellies and, you know, my Montana honey moonshine, bro.
Oh, out of a
Oh,
mason jar too.
nice. Very nice.
Well,
yeah.
It's the Willie's one that I always drink. It's my baby. So
Right, I was just talking about your consumption vessel there.
Oh yeah, I was feeling it today.
Yeah.
Like a true mountain man. I like
Yeah.
it.
Trying to.
I'm going with ranch water.
Oh yeah. Slowly getting back up on the horse, huh?
Yeah, diving on the just climbing back up on the horse with
Oh,
the seltzer.
You're so dead. You're fucking dead with the seltzers, because you know what? They're like a gateway drug.
To what?
Bush lattes.
No, to dick.
That too.
I was gonna say, do I have to join a club now or something?
Dude, I think you already joined it, guy.
Pretty sure you're there, bud.
I'm pretty sure you already paid your membership in full. Hey,
Yeah,
so
well,
we got a nice little agenda today. So for men's mental health, we have I think you saw kind of like the physical and mental injuries, and how that affects you and how it can kind of consume you from time to time. Dealing with physical injuries, mental injuries, and just physical sickness. So I think that's something that we can all speak to, and we've all gone through some bullshit like that, and kind of talk about how it affects us. And then we do have our current events. A lot of shit's been going on in the world at the meadery and just really all around us. And
life has
then
been happening.
and then just to throw you guys for a loop, there has been, believe it or not, a bunch of Spanish gold and Spanish artifacts found in and around the Uintas.
Surprise.
Dun dun
Surprise.
dun. Maybe that was foreshadowed, like in the third episode. And like
Pretty sure that-
every subsequent episode past that.
I'm pretty sure we've surprise, bitches. Like, we're not a conspiracy theorist when you bat 1,000. Fuck off.
Seriously.
Exactly.
That's fucking crazy.
So let's get into some current events, boys. We got obviously how many bottles did came off the old bottling machine in the last 2 days?
2,600, man. We got a fucking cool crew up here. We have our first full-time employee, which is weird. Like, that's actually getting paid.
Somebody's getting paid.
That's fucking crazy. Her name's Cadence, and she is just fucking killing it, man. Like, 18-year-old kid, and she showed up was timid at first when she was talking to me. She interviewed with me. She interviewed with the face. She interviewed with One Horse, and then just got a really fucking good vibe about her overall. And she just fucking been killing it. Her and fucking Miss Heather, man, just showing up and doing work. Worked with me for the past week in the fucking heat. No AC in the meadery. Brutal. Because we have to wash everything. So it's not like it's not warm and then you add in the humidity. I literally feel like I've lost probably 15-20 pounds just water weight, even though I'm drinking like a gallon and a half of water a
And
day.
you're raw.
Yeah. So she's been killing it. Heather's been killing it. Turnbuckle showed up yesterday, helped out as a fourth person. Then good old Dev showed up today, helped out with stacking boxes. But yeah, we got the peach and nutmeg, which is called Fjord, FJOR, which the boat himself named.
Yeah.
Means father.
Surprise.
Yeah.
And then we got Lochner, like I'm going to the Loch Ness, but instead of S, it's So Lochner, harder.
Heather Loch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to remind people how to pronounce that one. That one, I stumble over that one all the time. So
people forget all the things all the time, so it's no big deal. But yeah,
isn't that the whole point? Is like get them drinking it, then they'll stumble over, all of them.
Well, that's the whole idea, right? Like like it's like the initial bearded Viking Easter egg. How the fuck do I say this? That's the Easter egg.
But after you've had a couple glasses, you know how to pronounce all of them. It's really
good. That you speak Norse.
Comes out like this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we've got those two. The Lochner is the huckleberry. And then my favorite Valkyrie is done, and we're bottling that Friday. So that's blueberry and lemon. And then the Searcher is 3 days out from being done. So depending on availability of bottles, we'll probably bottle that Tuesday or Wednesday next week, which means that we'll have a launch party that Friday, which would be pretty dope, the 26th.
Oh, snap. More launching.
Mm-hmm.
Love the launch party. They're so much fun.
Well, yeah, wear a tie.
I am not. I am fucking wearing shorts and flip flops, bro. It's so fucking hot. I mean, I might wear the tie. Give me a BVMC tie. I'll fucking wear a tie.
Just a tie. I'll get like a black one, and I'll just do like a BVMC with a white marker.
I mean,
down it.
Yeah.
I think your beard's gonna cover up the BV, possibly the M too.
It's gotten bigger. The beard has definitely grown down.
Is it record heat up there? Or is that normal?
Record heat up here was when Ragnar died. When I lost my bird. Right. It was 110 degrees at 10 a.m.
Oh my God.
And then that same year, it dropped down to negative 40. So like you have a 150 degree temperature swing. I was like, fuck this. It's crazy. So
weird.
Nuts.
That's
yeah, I don't think I'm gonna move up there anytime soon. I'll stick to Utah for a while.
They have AC here too.
It's kind of ridiculous.
They have AC, man. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
they AC in house. They have AC and heaters.
No way.
I don't. Nah,
it's crazy.
Not in meaderies though.
Not in the meadery. No.
When we do the expansion, there's a heater in the meadery, but like in the expansion, we'll have like AC and shit. It's gonna be crazy, dog.
That'll be neat. It'll be very climate controlled, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be really nice.
Yeah. It's another dreamery.
Nope. It's just the expansion of the meadery.
It's another dreamery.
Nope.
It's a dreamery expansion.
I'm not touching any part of it other than to open the door after it's done. That's all I'm doing.
Just, hey, you know what? If we didn't have dreams, we wouldn't have goals, and then we wouldn't have things to accomplish, right?
Right. And then we wouldn't have anything to bitch about either.
That's true.
No, yeah, we could stop with all of that. I'm over. I'm good. We don't gotta bitch about anything. There's enough fucking weird shit happening in the world right now that I'm like, no, man, I'm no. Yeah. What about you guys? What happened up at other than freezing your balls off in a nice creek? What did you guys do this weekend? For your current events?
I think that was a highlight. I dipped both feet into drinking again, so that was fun. But overall, it was a good time. I had fun. Nice. The girls had fun.
Yeah, nice. The river was just the right temp to freeze your balls off. but it was just warm enough outside where you didn't really care.
Yeah.
So, we had Murph up there, and me and him pretty much drank in the river all day. This guy was in and out. So it was fun. Obviously, we were up there when the news came in that the president got shot, or the former president got shot. And that was interesting. That was, I think, I don't know, we watched probably 4 hours of news coverage as that kind of developed. That was insane.
Yeah, and then everything that came over the web the rest of the night and over the next day, it was.
Dude, they're still releasing shit
after that.
Yeah, Today they dropped some more shit. I was like, what the fuck? I literally was at the point today where I was like, I like living on top of a mountain in the middle of fucking nowhere. That's where I got to today. I'm like, holy fuck, man! The incompetence level of everything. I was just like, I can't even.
Yeah.
Fathom.
Like if anybody ever wants to shoot you, you should just hire your own personal security detail, because obviously the Secret Service is compromised. That was an interesting day. Went on 2 Mics Live that day. They did an emergency Saturday, hour-long episode, which was good, just trying to get the word out and getting people aware. So that was pretty neat.
Did you just go cross-eyed?
Yeah, I had hair. I had a hair on my hat, and it was driving me nuts.
You look like a cartoon character when you go cross-eyed.
I look like a cartoon character in general.
No, like one of those big giant googly eye guys that just kind of you look like you shook your head together and your eyeballs were just bouncing off and then
it floated down, and I thought something might come down from it, but I realized it was a hair. It was
you're afraid of the
spider.
You're afraid of the 8-legged critters.
Yeah, I'd rather have snakes.
I'm leaving it in.
You better.
Yeah. It's easier if you just leave it in. When have you not left it in? Yeah, we're getting down to brass tacks.
Also fair.
Ding, you get the prize.
I believe that's called floating at this point. I believe that at this point that's called floating because it's no longer soaking, right?
Yeah, I don't even know. We're going to have to come up with a term for that. It's not just afterglow anymore.
Question on that same thing. So when you leave it in and you get the post-nut clarity and you realize that you're still leaving it in, do you just start drinking while it's in, or do you just pull out and you're just like?
Most time I just fall asleep.
Or do you stop, drop, and roll? Because I feel like there's some cases where you should have stopped, dropped, and rolled.
Yeah. Well, I love it.
Oh, fucking sweet. So the former president Donald Trump gets shot. By somebody who has no business being on top of a building that wasn't cleared because of the pitch of the roof with a giant fucking ladder. Walked right up, climbed the ladder, doo.
Well, and then
they had detail inside the building, so that's what counts, right?
I love how the Secret Service tried to blame it on the local police,
right?
And that whole thing just does not jive.
I mean, they said they had their eye on him for 10 minutes, 45 minutes, and they still let him go on stage. I don't understand that. The more and more, this investigation goes on, the worse and worse it makes the Secret Service look, and it's just pathetic.
Well, and there's videos of him now, where they've zoomed it in, and he's literally lurking on the outside fence in front of the building.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fantastic. And you know what really puts the icing on the cake for me, because I know we're not conspiracy theorists. We're conspiracy truthists or something.
Truists.
Truists. He was in a BlackRock commercial.
Yeah, I was about to fucking say that, dude.
And as we know, BlackRock is a $10 trillion company and probably worth more. And they're directly connected with Vanguard. I mean, these companies are so big, the two of them are trying to get their own stock market just for the two of them. And we know the families that own that, and we know how MK Ultra worked, and we know how brainwashing worked, and he was obviously already in the BlackRock fold. So how did it all happen?
didn't BlackRock own the company that owned that building as well? I think that's a thing.
Sure.
That's a thing. Yeah.
I mean, unless it was owned by a local farmer, I'm sure they had some.
They showed the logo.
Hold on. Even if it had been owned by a local farmer, that farmer was probably owned by BlackRock at this point. Like, really?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? I'm just waiting for the fucking phone call for those dickheads to call and be like, "Hey, we're buying you," and I'll be like, "I'm sorry, fuck off," right? And then they bankrupt us. I mean, that's kind of like how they work, right?
And then they steal the recipes and just open it up anyway.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, so it's really kind of a conspiracy theorist heyday because there's so much information coming out and there's so many good Googlers out there now that this information that would have never come out before is now starting to come out. And they're saying that there was like a second shooter, and the way ballistics work, it doesn't really seem like there could have been a second shooter. There was a fucking blown out hydraulic line from one of the missed shots, and one of the speakers fell. Like there's a whole bunch of shit going on with this whole thing.
Did you guys see that he had a detonator?
Yeah, he had all kinds of shit ready to fucking explode in the van.
Yeah, he had a bunch of shit in the van. Yeah, it was insane.
Dude, fucking crazy. So
he was expecting to live. Like, they gave him his MK Ultra mission, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna live, guy. Like, you're gonna make it out. You're gonna go back down that ladder."
The weirdest fucking thing to me about this whole situation, right? Beyond the known stated weird, right? Like the weirdest thing, right? Is that this guy is not, so like when we define like what it means to be a man, the pillars of being a man, this dude is everything that is not that. You look at him and you're like, man, you never stood up to your bully. You are frail. You are obviously not a good shot. Like, you're 150 yards away, man. Like, I'll do that with my eyes closed.
You do that with a pistol.
Right, just like fucking side range, you know?
Yeah,
like
Helen Keller could have made that shot.
Like seriously, like you could fucking have Angelina Jolie fucking bending it like Beckham, fucking throwing the shit up, right? Like fucking Wanted. Yeah, right. Like, and you're like, this is the guy. So like, this is your in this guy. Many things about this don't make sense to me beyond the things that don't make sense. Like, this guy has no business being at a Trump rally. He is not that guy.
No, and I love how his voting records is he's a registered Republican, but he was 20 years old, so he voted for like his local mayor and like a city council member maybe once, if that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, you could register all you want, but the kid probably hasn't even voted once or hadn't voted once, and then he had given money to extreme left organizations, so like it's kind of doing one of these already.
Yeah. Well, and then when he was in college, and like there's a video of him fucking screaming fascist. Like, you're a fascist, right? That was a fucking video that was released.
It was a purple hair moment. Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, what? What a goddamn hair moment. What the fuck, man? We got like tickle me emo over here, fucking like telling people about how he cuts himself to feel and shit. I'm like confused as fuck.
Yeah, this is really fucking interesting. And you can tell that they did not expect Trump to make it out alive, because there's so many holes in their story, and the Secret Service is just dodging everything.
They're not even dodging. Yeah. They're just they're trying to do their best Neo in the Matrix, but everybody's like hitting direct center. Yeah,
I was gonna say Trump's the only one that's doing Neo from the Matrix, and these fuckers, man, they're just soaking it up left and right. They still haven't come out and done any kind of press conference. The only statements they've really released or done is the ones blaming it on the local law enforcement. It's like, good job, Secret Service. You're gonna fucking blame it on the local guys?
Yeah, like Secret Service owns out to, so in a Secret Service package, typically they own out to like 500 yards, right?
They should.
Well, so they should, so like they say that they'll own every fucking square inch out to 500 yards. And then you have beyond that, like a combination of different law enforcement agencies. So you'll have like sometimes
your ancillary perimeter.
Yeah, you'll have like your U.S. Marshals mixed in with your whoever, and then beyond that is your fucking local law enforcement. Like, there's no reason that a local law enforcement person should ever be the fucking guy as a sniper pulling the trigger. Because
even if it was, though, I mean, I bet you if it was local law enforcement that was up on that roof, the trigger would have got pulled.
Oh, for sure. Like right away.
And that building and that roof wouldn't have been left unattended.
100% of me was just like thinking back to when I was in Afghanistan and we saw a guy placing an IED in the middle of the road, and we called for support. Like, hey, can we shoot this guy? Well, can you tell it's an IED? Well, he's got a fucking big giant bucket with wires hanging out of it, digging a hole in the middle of the fucking road for no reason. No. Oh.
Huh.
Okay. So in my mind, and then of course me and fucking Kev Dog fucking roll up, and guess who gets blown up? Me and Kev Dog. We get fucking blown up by that same fucking thing, right? And Kev had him in his fucking sights. Like the Secret Service snipers can go from a wide view at 1,000 meters to a narrow view, target acquired, and a trigger pulled in 4 seconds. They are the best of the best snipers. Like, they are the guys that the snipers end up. That's where they go when snipers retire. So it's like there's not a lot of other job.
Yeah. Unless you're a SEAL, then you write a book,
and then you still go there. Like then you write a SEAL. Then you write a second book about being a SEAL that turned to
secret agent man.
Yeah. So it's like it's really fucking weird because like as a fucking door kicker and like working with like some of the greatest snipers I've like people like these men that I've worked with, are crazy awesome shots. And you're like, okay, so what was it that stopped them? Because they will literally pull a trigger and it's like, and then it's just pink mist, right? Like for that person's brain. It's just fucking over. Pink mist and gray matter, right? And so then you have like a different moment of like the reason why I brought up the thing with me and Kev was because maybe there was an ROE that was in place that. And most likely somebody said, hostile act, hostile intent. Even though a fucking firearm pointed at anybody is technically a hostile act and hostile intent.
Well, yeah, especially a president or a former president. You're getting a lot of thumbs up over there, guy. And I don't see you thumbs in anything.
Little girl's happy I'm back.
Oh.
I think God, no.
I think I'm going to call her Nika.
That's weird.
She's got black hair.
And there's another sweet. Thumbs up. How do you know she has black hair?
Because do you not remember the story? So, beyond the story about in 29 Palms, Allie and Britt took like the AI video of around the house, and it shows you like what it perceives. Like the AI shows you what it perceives, and it showed a little girl sitting right behind me, looking over my captain's chair. While I was looking at my phone, like looking down at me, like nice and kind, and with black hair, and a white fucking shirt, and like jeans / shorts.
No, that's the first time I've heard that.
That's spooky.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's here hanging out, so it's cool. She's letting everybody know that she's happy that I'm back because I probably needed it.
There you go. Yeah, it's good for your mental health. Oh, Hi, little girl. Hopefully she doesn't make an appearance in post, huh?
Maybe she will. Maybe she's not the fucking chick from The Ring, bro. She ain't coming through the screen.
I will be editing during the day.
In other news, the word of the day is fuck stick.
Fuck stick.
So I think we've gone over enough, current events and everything. Unless there's anything that you wanted to add with the meadery right this second before we jump into men's mental health.
The Jarl and I are going to do some technology things, which is really cool. We're going to put together our first Bearded Viking Mead Club, so you guys can subscribe to that. That's going to be cool. Ooh. Can't wait to do that.
Stuff.
Yeah. Also, because Vika and I sat down the other night, we have almost got everything set up live that shows you all of our locations where you can purchase our mead directly. So there's 9 locations here in Montana and 1 in Alaska currently. You can just show up and go get.
So is it going to be like the what is it, the snack finder on the Montucky site?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. So basically, you just go like.
So that thing rocks.
It's like store locator or like mead locator. Basically, is what we haven't figured out the terminology. That's not a mead thing. That's a Rudy thing. Because he's like
the hooch finder. It's the
hooch finder. The hooch finder.
It's the hooch finder.
Write that down. We actually probably need to snag that domain, hoochfinder.com.
.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
.org.
Basically, we just got a couple of bugs to work through, but should be live by probably Monday, Tuesday. And that we have a new blog, a huge blog post coming out. Vika and I have been writing it, working on it together. She's done a shitload of work on it herself, and then asking me every question in the history of questions about things. But she's also heard me talk about Hooch enough over the past 4 years that she kind of fills in the gaps pretty well. So that's coming out. And Scooter Brown from the War Hippies was at the meadery.
Oh yeah, I saw some pictures. Yeah.
So
how did he like it? Did he play?
No, he didn't play. He was fucking beat from the heat. It was crazy. But he's coming back. We're gonna do a winter solstice music festival, and he's gonna come play for us.
He's chilly.
He's also gonna play at the wedding.
Kicks ass. Yeah.
DOS wedding.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Some other cool things that are coming up. I've kind of alluded to offline. I don't really want to put them out there, but just if you're happen to watch the Grand Ole Opry performances in October/November, you might see a shirt of ours on the Grand Ole Opry stage, which is pretty fucking epic.
Foreshadowing. I like it.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
I like it.
So those are the main mead things, and then it's also windy in Montana tonight, with lots of fire. Lots of fires. Dude, it's been fucking so not wind, no wind at all for fucking 2 weeks, because I've been dying. I would have killed for a breeze, bro. We just got lots of fires up here. I mean, you guys got a shitload of fires in there too, right?
God, that big. We didn't see one when we drove up this past weekend. I didn't.
I haven't seen shit.
I didn't see any smoke either. We're really literally in the Uintas.
Weird.
Yeah, Utah fire info. I don't know. Let's look. Because the smoking lamp is still on, so it says 24 season summary. There is. Oh, that one that's in the Uintas is way fucking far away.
Yeah,
it's like close to the border, but it's small.
Is it small? I thought it was 26,000 acres.
It's like Spires and what's this other one? I don't know. This Tridel. Never even heard of those places. But yeah, they're nothing too crazy here.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Southern Utah's a little bit worse. They have some plus 5,000 acre fires, but up north we're still shit hot.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that the fire report's over, let's jump into some men's mental health.
Let's fucking do it, man.
So that's fun.
I love it.
Anyway, so it's a fun twist to the show that we have tonight. So we've talked about, PTSD and everything, and most people would consider that like a mental wound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have physical wounds. So I know that we've talked about lots of mental wounds, both physical and, mental as far as, those wounds go. I think both of you have physical mental wounds. I would say mine are more not physical.
Raise your right arm. Raise your right arm.
Raise my right arm?
Yeah, remember how you fucked up your right arm? Still not? Is it fucked up still, or is it your leg? No, it's your leg.
We're talking about mental wounds, asshole.
Oh, you said physical mental wounds.
Yeah, but yours are physical because you got blown up, you hit your head. As far as brain injuries go, like TBI, mine would be more PTSD driven that is not physical from going boom or anything like that. But so we've all kind of talked about those mental wounds and stuff and the steps that we take to get through it. So I guess we've talked about them, how we got them, how you guys got them, but on the day to day, what do you do to get through them and work through them effectively?
Well, I'll let you go first, man, on this. I'm interested how you do this.
Well, with me, I, I'm very routine. I have to stay in a routine. And I have to write everything down basically, or type it out in a note and stuff like that, because mine affects a lot of my memory. And so, number one, if it's not a routine thing that I'm doing, um, it's gone. Like I don't have room for it, especially after a seizure. Most everything's gone. Especially like anything non-routine or anything that I only do once in a while or something like that. After a seizure, it's gone. Like take for instance, um, driving up to the cabin. Like I followed the old man because without a pin drop or knowing exactly where I need to go, you know what I mean? I can't remember how to get there by just memory, you know what I mean? I need a map or I need a pin drop or I need to follow somebody. And it's like that with a lot of things. So I think the biggest part that sucks is losing the memory of stuff. You know what I mean? Losing the memory of, you know, a conversation I had with my daughter, or, one of the biggest things that that really hurts me is not remembering that certain people have passed away. There was this one time where I ran into a gal from junior high and high school at the store, and her old man was one of my favorite people in the world. He was my baseball coach for a couple years, and he was just a solid man, and he was hilarious. And yeah, I mean, not the best baseball coach in the world. He was kind of like the comedy coach, you know what I mean? But he was great. He was fantastic, and he brought the comic relief, and had a lot of fun with like just learning, those kind of things from this man. And I asked her, I was like, well, how's your old man? And she kind of looked at me like, what? And turned out he passed away like 10 years earlier.
You were at his funeral.
Yeah, like I went to his
20 years
funeral.
ago?
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, you went to the funeral. And so I explained a little bit to her, and I felt horrible. And but those are the kind of things that are kind of my main struggles, and those are the kind of things that I just kind of got to stay away from, you know what I mean, in conversation. Um, but that really, I really try to, write down everything that I feel like I need to remember, especially traits about people, um, that I people that I like, and people that I'm going to see again, and people that I know, and people that I don't talk to on a regular basis, but I still, they're still in my life. I still care about them. I have to write those things down, and I think that that's kind of the biggest thing that I have to do, and I have to stay conscious of, really to combat those things. And it's hard. It's a daily struggle. It really is. Some days are better than others, like I said, but it's there. It's a thing, and it's never going away.
Yeah, that's
So,
that's a real thing.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, do you just walk around with notebooks, or do you like? I mean, I've seen your desktop on your computer, and I've never seen so many sticky notes in my life. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how you remember where the sticky notes are on your desktop, but
Yeah.
like, how do you if you write it down, does it help you retain that to memory more, or do you just have to go find out where you wrote it down or whether you wrote it down?
I've graduated from the sticky note. I still use a lot of sticky notes, but I've kind of graduated from that to like like the text edit program or the notes program or something like
That's
that.
what I mean. It's like the sticky notes
yeah.
on your computer, not like actual like
No,
physical
no,
like
I know.
sticky pads.
Yeah,
But
no, I know what you meant, but like because you can talk to text on those. So if I need to,
yeah, buddy, I got sticky notes all over. I got all kinds of shit ready for you.
My whole
I got
life
fucking
is a
JT's notes over
sticky
here. I
note.
got fucking.
um, yeah, but you can talk to text to those apps. So I use that a lot, and I use a little journaling app on my phone that you can talk to text to, and I just do little notes to myself that way. And especially with work, like with work, I am diligent about writing stuff down, or else your job ain't getting done, my friend, because I will forget the shit out of it. You know what I mean? By like, if someone asked me to do something Monday and I didn't write it down, I'd have forgot about it by now. Easy. You know what I mean? And I do a lot during the day with work, and me and Al were talking about this the other day. Being creative on demand is really taxing on the brain, and it doesn't leave a lot of room in itself for anything to be retained if if you hadn't written it down or you hadn't um, relayed it to somebody else or something like that. So that's kind of that doesn't help. But because when I have to be creative on demand, I kind of have to flush everything out and just focus on that one thing, um, and then try to remember what the fuck I was supposed to do next.
Um, do like those like brain trainers or like brain games or anything like that help?
A little bit. I've tried using those before, and they do help. But I find that I just spend way too much time
You're just like
screwing with those things.
you're
Yeah,
just dialed
exactly.
in. You're like, oh god, Angry
Exactly.
Birds. Fuck.
It's fucking
Yeah, like on it for like 9 hours. The girls are starving. You know what
all
I mean?
all of a sudden you're Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon 2. Your legs are fucking
Exactly.
completely numb on the toilet for no reason. Like
Exactly.
except for he had a bomb, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was in there so long I shit twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came full circle, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
so.
Yeah, those help. And this therapy that I'm doing, it's a cell regeneration therapy, which is really cool. This new doctor that I'm going to, and I'm hoping I've talked to him a little bit, and he said that it very well could regrow the cells that are damaged in my head, in my brain. And so that could really lead to some healing of that kind of that problem as well. I'm doing it for the Crohn's, but it's a full body thing. You go into this hyperbaric chamber basically, and you're in there for like an hour, and yeah, you're supposed to do this cell regrowth type thing, and well, that along with this other bed that's in there,
The
that
hyperbaric.
yeah, the hyperbaric kills bad cells, and then the other bed is the regeneration of good cells. So anyway, and you use them in conjunction with each other, and so hopefully it'll start working for the brain pain too, and that'll be super cool because I'm not getting any younger. You know what I mean? And
Have you ever tried microdosing?
yeah, I do. I have. And I think it's something I may start again, maybe when I heal up all the way. Um, and I know that it's good for overall, you know, um, things in the body, just mushrooms in general. And I switched from regular coffee to mushroom coffee, and the difference in that alone is fucking cool. Like, we're not sponsored by any mushroom coffee, so I'm not gonna say the one that I use. But at the same time, I noticed like a boost in energy, a boost in mood, and just a boost in overall kind of glow. You know what I mean?
So much for the
Have you
afterglow.
seen me glow
That's an
lately,
Everclear
bro?
song.
No,
That's an
Dude,
Everclear song, bro.
I have not seen you glow.
I was
So-
glowing on the course yesterday. What are you talking about?
Yeah, coming from behind.
I always come from behind, bro.
That's where. Yeah, I was about to be like, you set him up for that one. So here's an interesting thing. So I did microdosing for like a month, and in that month, so I was focused on I was using psilocybin.
Mhm.
I don't really care if anybody actually cares. Like I really don't give a shit. So, like if you do too much, I'm talking Odin, which I'm not mad about anyways. So it's fine, right?
Yeah.
But I was just microdosing for about a month, and in that month, the amount of clarity that I've received, and like
Yeah.
being able to fucking like connect dots, and it actually helped me slow down. Everybody who knows me,
Uh,
no, for real.
It's pretty good.
what month was this?
Squirrel, squirrel,
Uh,
squirrel.
right before May. It was April because it was gonna be May.
You slowed down in
Yeah,
April?
yeah. I mean, think about this, right? So in this year, and like a lot of this was actually because of that. So in this year, I've completed my master's program. With everybody's help, we completed the meadery build, right? We completed the grand opening. We completed like all of these tasks, right? And currently we're working. Vika and I are working on completing the fencing so we can get the horses up here. Um, so like with those kind of pieces, it really makes me focus, which is something that's cool because the way that I deal with my trauma is I put as many fucking irons in the fire as I can so I don't actually have to think about it. So when I was diagnosed with PTSD, um, I had this like fucking entire mental collapse. Like knowing that you have a problem is fine, but then being told that you have a fucking crazy problem, like you are, it makes you feel like you're a less of a man. And so then like you just like have this inner fucking battle. At least for me, I have this crazy inner battle, right? Where it's like, no man, I'm fucking stronger than this. I can work it out. I can do it on my own. And then the other side of it was like, you're weak, and like, you know, those intrusive thoughts that come in. You're weak, this, that, the other fucking whatever thing, right? And those, it's crazy because at least in my head, like the bad thoughts can really fuck up the good thoughts, right? They can really, really beat down that positive energy, that positive light that you bring.
So would you say that even till this day that you're focusing on the negative, or would you say that you're focusing more on the positive now?
So for
I
me,
have my opinion, but I want to know what you think.
so I think it depends on the week. Sometimes my negative side fit wins. Sometimes my positive side wins. I'm working every day, micro growth, right? Like very, very small growth every day, one step forward to be more positive. But I
Hmm.
say that probably right now it's 51-49, and 51 is the negative and 49 is the positive.
I think probably from the beginning of our relationship, you're definitely a lot more positive now than you used to be. I think that outwardly you try to be positive, but I think that as far as, inward, you still had a lot of negativity. I think a lot of that has kind of subsided and gone away now at this point,
It's because I surrounded
which
myself with the right people.
Do you take the self and sabotage and the self or and the intrusive thoughts? Do you try to turn them into motivation?
No, I actually just look at them and tell them to fuck off. That's the only way I can do it. Because if I try to turn it into motivation, like what ends up happening is I end up going down the dark path. Like it takes me
Yeah.
right, it spirals me real hard. So like I will literally look at the demon and be like, "Fuck you, you whore."
so is it do you feel like it's actually the PTSD and like the mental wound, or do you feel like it's your your idea? And because like you said a minute ago, you have an issue with now I feel like less of a man, or now I feel this certain way because somebody told me that I have this thing. Now, is that the part that you think is driving that thought, or do you think that the actual fucking brain damage of a TBI and being told that you have that condition, do you think it's physical or do you think it's mental?
Okay, so that's actually a fucking awesome question because I actually got in a conversation about this with Vika the other night. So she went to a psychic who told her a whole bunch of shit, like crazy shit that nobody should know and they can't fish out of you, right? And like told her about some things for her future. And I'm like, I told her, I was like, you know, from my perspective, I think that I will never go to a psychic, even if they're like a real psychic, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't because they're going to tell you things that can manifest. Now, do they manifest because they can manifest on their own, or do they manifest because they've been spoken out loud and now your brain's like latching on to that
Right.
predictive
Yeah,
future,
that
right?
whole
you're
manifest
you're
destiny.
giving them,
Yeah.
you're giving them
Yeah.
energy. You're giving
Right.
them life.
So here's the thing with my PTSD and my TBI. I think it's actually a combination of both that really fucking hit me. Because at the time, I was trying my best to build something for the future in just like a sporadic, crazy way without like forethought, without anything else. And so when you're in that kind of weak moment of, I don't know my way, and somebody throws something at you, like you latch onto that thing and then you manifest that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you take that and you flip the script and you say somebody throws a positive thing, well, why don't you latch on to the positive stuff? There's a reason why the news doesn't ever talk to you about the positive shit that's happening in the world. They only show you the negative, because negative shit and sex sells. Violence and sex sell. Happy shit, everybody's like, well, you could be happy anytime. But the reality is violence and sex can happen. They happen more than happiness, true happiness in the world, right? So for me personally, I think as a combination of the two, I'd probably say 60-40. 60% of me was latching on self-manifesting this preordained like idea that I had fucking PTSD and I was a lesser man.
Yeah.
You're right. Like you're fucking like when the doctor tells you like you're never getting rid of this and you're gonna have demons forever, and then they're like, hey, take these pills. Like acceptance of those pills, like literally receiving those pills. And by the way, I'm not saying don't take the pills because some people need them, but like the acceptance of those pills, now all of a sudden you're putting this thing in your body that's altering your state of mind, right?
Yeah. And state of consciousness too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so like 40% of it is like, I actually really have a fucking an injury.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally started to heal was after we met in school, and I finally fucking went and I was like, I'm fucking done with this shit. Like, get me off of these fucking pills. And I was like, how can I do this? Like, stop fucking prescribing me shit that's not working. And they were like, I don't know if they get bonuses at the VA for fucking how many pills they push for fucking like crazy shit. But
they're
like,
not supposed to, but I'm pretty sure some docs are on the take. Just
yeah,
just from being on the inside and looking out, I'm pretty sure that there's some that are on the take.
Right. So like when I finally fucking broke free, dude, I did a Hapoti sweat lodge in Salt Lake City on a Thursday afternoon in the middle of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I fucking broke free.
Well, and see, that's a huge thing too, is like the stories of guys that are breaking free from those pills, basically, that have been prescribed to them by mental health and everything like that, through the VA and through, some of the civilian docs that don't understand it. It's exactly what it is. It's breaking free from it and getting away from the pharmaceuticals. And like you said, yeah, there are some people that right off the bat need that help. And some people that may never get off some of the pills. But there's a whole lot that you can do outside of those pills. And I don't know if you've been listening regularly or not, but we've been talking about all the new treatments and different types of things that are out there now for people that weren't out there at the very beginning of this shit show.
No, yeah, dude. I mean, so yeah. I listened to a lot of the things that you guys have been talking about, and the majority of it I'm excited about. Sometimes I'm like, really, guys?
Hey, but how's your dick?
Yeah, right? I was gonna ask, how's your dick, man?
Yeah, it's all right.
That's on the agenda, dude. I have it written down. Like, how's your dick?
It's fucking fine. It's great.
You haven't answered that question.
Yeah, it's really important.
No, it's great, man. It works. It's
Would
great.
Micah say that it's great, or like,
It's
top. It's I'm speaking it to fruition.
He's manifesting destiny.
Manifesting
it. He's a coxman.
Yeah. So when it comes to like all those from my perspective, and like remember, like this is my perspective. And you may share.
It's a show of perspectives.
Yeah, like this is like many people with different opinions. So don't take this to heart. But like, I now just, and I think this was a change that both of you have seen in me over the past fucking 8-9 years, however long it's been.
Almost a
fucking
decade.
A decade, right? So like a long time. When I fucking said, I will not go quietly into the night.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I will not let you fucking tell me my destiny. Even though in my belief system, my destiny, the end date is pre-woven for me in the web of life. That doesn't, so it's a web. I make my decisions left, right, or straight. It's still a spider web, right? There's an endpoint in the middle and an endpoint on the outside. Totally cool. But for me, I fucking refuse to let somebody who is smarter, air quotes on that, than me, tell me what I am and what I am not. And that's how I fucking battle my PTSD. I keep my plate pretty full now, not because I want it full. I actually just want to go fly fishing and fly my falcons. Like that's all I want, right? For a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe 6 months. I don't know. I might go. I might go off the rails.
We're not at that point yet. You can't go off the reservation yet.
Yeah, that's why we're selling booze, so we can do that in like 5 years.
That's fine. But my thing is like, I don't actually want to be that busy anymore. I actually want to sit and drink a cup of coffee on my deck in the morning and just watch the fucking elk and deer fucking cruise through the yard. And hopefully they cruise through the yard when I have my cup of coffee and I'm on my balcony during hunting season when I have my bow.
Oh,
right?
See, I know this is an interruption, but we have a cougar. I got cougar on our camera last night. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it.
You should.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a Salisbury steak out because I'm not gonna buy it like a good steak. And then,
a Salisbury steak could be pretty good depending on where
I'm talking
at.
about like a hungry man Salisbury steak,
dude,
like the kind that you eat when you don't have a woman cooking for you.
Fair, right? Have you ever done shit on a shingle instead of being on a shingle, being on a Salisbury steak? It actually works out real well.
I could imagine, actually. But sorry for the interruption. But yeah, you want to drink coffee on the deck. You want to see the deers and the antelope roam.
Elks.
Big elks.
I mean, like the reality for me, is like mostly my demons don't win now. And I think that's probably true for everybody on this cast. Like we just literally fucking tell them to fuck off. Over.
Yeah, well, and I got told that I have a totally different type of PTSD, which was, I was like, yeah, well, no shit. I was like, thanks, clinical guy. Whatever.
Yeah, tell us about it. I'm actually interested to hear your story because you've never told it to me because you don't talk to me anymore.
If you slide back into the camera a little bit, I'll tell it to you.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
I know you're a little out of practice, but I want to see your whole face.
Oh, that's weird. That's fucking crazy.
It's some of your forehead.
Gotta leave room for the ladies though. They're looking good in the background. So
yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah. The old girls they're always sneaking up on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get you to put the ladies on the green screen when your green screen comes in.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole fun
you could make like a crown of ladies.
That'd be
your back screen. Yeah,
that'd be pretty
Did you
dope.
guys see the thing that? Speaking of the ladies, did you guys see the thing that the Kev dog sent?
I did not.
No, I did not. Did he send it to
do
me?
Did he do more woodwork?
Did you guys see the original woodwork of the ladies? You saw the original one, right? Like the woodwork of the ladies?
I don't think so. No.
I don't know.
Oh, I'll send it. Dude, I'm going to send it to you.
I was going to say, Kev Dog is not sending me the shit. Yeah. Insert ladies.
Yeah.
Insert graphic here.
Hey, could you get the boat to do the insert graphic?
Oh, yeah. Right here. Yeah. Just like the old days.
Let's get back to the Jarl story.
So my story's not like big. It's some of it's actually kind of laughable. It's not like the boot camp PTSD or anything like that, which that's fun to hear. No, it was actually when I got my whole fucking face torn apart. and woke up on the operating table.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so long story short, when they ripped like this whole side out, um, the I woke up on the table,
Ooh,
and
no.
my eyes were taped shut. So I woke up, and the guy had his knee on my chest, and the other like on a step stool, and he's just going to town, just ripping and drilling. And I reached up to choke him. I reached up and I found his neck just out of just brute force and ignorance. And he like stops. He's like, okay, I know you're awake. We're almost done. And I'm just like, are we? And more shots came in to the area, so I couldn't feel it, but I was awake for the whole latter half of the surgery.
They couldn't put you back out. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's like a nightmare come to life, dude.
So my PTSD is not getting blown up. It's not taking fire. It's not anything like that. But it happened while in service because of a botched fucking surgery that they made me do.
Bro, like that is a fucking terrifying thing. Like listen, I can handle a lot of pain. I can just deal a lot, right? But mouth pain? Like if you want to fucking answer the questions, just walk up with a fucking dentist drill and just be like, without fucking Novocaine, I'm out, bro. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I don't care.
Yeah, so
I'm out.
So not a lot of people know that. I mean, our 50s of listeners will know that story now. But that's kind of where I'm like, well, they're like, okay, well, you're going to go talk to a doc about this. I was like, okay, cool. And then, of course, you go into like the office or whatever to talk to the head shrinker, and that's already uncomfortable as shit, right? He had some nice leather chairs. I appreciated his furniture. Very classy, very upbeat. Like, I think he was wearing Tevas. I was like, oh, okay, I know where this is fucking going. I was like,
see this guy's fucking toenails?
Yeah, he's very, very well manicured. Had a really cool hairdo and everything.
Oh, well, that helps.
But yeah, so that basically told the story to that guy, and there's probably maybe, I don't even know. Did I even tell you that story?
No, I've never heard that.
Either one of you?
No, not the shrinker. You didn't tell me the shrinker story. I knew the dentist story, but not the shrinker story.
But yeah, so that's kind of where my thing derived from, right? So going to the dentist is not fun for me by any means, but you still got to go do like your dental care and make sure your teeth stay pretty and your mouth stays good, because so much of your health, heart health, lung health, liver, everything is basically a derivative from your mouth. If you have poor dental health, other things will start falling and collapsing, and yeah, you can really identify a lot of issues that are wrong with you through your mouth, basically. And mine was fucked up. I had tissue grafts and bone grafts. I had a hole in my sinus. Like, I had, like, you name it. The doc that put me back together basically saved my life while I was here on leave. And I think I had lost probably like 10 pounds and just had no energy. I had so much infection just messing with my face, my mouth, and it started to affect my eye. Right? I was always like, I think I was 15, 20, and then, just 2020 throughout the whole entire life until then. And then after it happened, my right eye started getting jacked up. So now a lot of times when I shoot, I have to shoot with glasses. And I don't like shooting with glasses, but you can't really go cross-eye dominant when you've literally trained your whole fucking life one way.
Yeah.
So a lot of times too, when I'm shooting, I'll practice left-handed. And a lot of guys can do that. Some guys can't. I was to shoot both ways. But obviously the proficiency left-handed is not as good as right-handed. So a lot of times now I'll shoot with glasses so I can actually see everything crisp.
For me, same thing kind of with the glasses. Like I can't see past 200 yards, like crisp.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even that far.
And with me, I can see my left eye compensates a lot for my right. And if you ever take my glasses and look at it, you'll be like, you're not that prescribed. Like you don't have, like I could wear a monocle and get away with it. You know, I could be like the Monopoly guy or before the Mandela effects Monopoly guy. But I can still see pretty far. But if I want to shoot and stay crisp, I have to have past probably 300 yards. I have to have glasses. And that was kind of a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've always been able to kind of fake it till I make it as far as getting it back in there because I qualified just like the rest of everybody else with iron sights and made, you know, a short career out of it. But so I guess the point being is, you know, PTSD comes in a lot of different forms and brain injuries come in a lot of different forms, whether it be in service, out of service, PTSD from when you were little and having it stem from there, or PTSD from waking up on a fucking operating table. None of it's ideal, right? Yeah, no. So I mean, it really comes in all shapes and sizes and different, and manifests different in everybody, right? So I think the importance of at least us sharing how we get through it on a daily basis and kind of work and thrive and really persevere over it. I think that's a good message and a good basis for people to work off of that may have not figured out their way to get through it and work through it.
So how do you get through it? You haven't shared that. We know that I have like 55 irons in the fire at all times, and the boat fucking writes everything down. How do you get through it?
Well, so for me, mine is very localized, right? To certain situations. Every time I go into the doctor, I get a blood pressure spike. I could be going in to get blood work done, and I'm not afraid of needles or anything like that, but just going to the doctor's office in general, even if I'm fucked up, need to go. I get a blood pressure spike, and they're like, "Do you know you have high blood pressure?" I'm like, maybe not. You know,
not normally. It's because I'm fucking here, man.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the manifestation that I get in those kind of clinical settings. Now, I could spend all day in a fucking hospital if it's nothing to do with me, and I'm just fine. I'm not going to start, you know, palpitating and start getting anxiety because of just being there. If it's something that I got to do for work or if I'm taking one of my kids or anything there. Obviously, if I'm taking my kid, I'm already worried about the kid because, you know, I'm taking him to the doctor. But
kids.
Yeah, but I'm not spiking because of, you know, just anything else. It's just if I have to go and somebody's going to love, touch, and feel me, then
Dude,
I get a little bit edgy.
So like overall, I don't ever really have high blood pressure except for when I go to the doctor too. I have I measure my blood pressure at home. Like we're at like just because
really?
like
you got one of those cuffs?
Yeah, I got a fucking blood pressure cuff.
You really?
I mean, he's getting up there. You should probably get one too, guy. I'm actually gonna order it on Amazon right now. I'm gonna get it sent to you.
It's prime, dude. You gotta get it while it's hot.
And typically I'm like 139 to 138 over like 80 or 90. Like still a little bit high, but nothing crazy. But when every fucking time I go to to get blood drawn and everything, I'm like, dude, did you know you're fucking hypertension? I'm like, no. Actually I didn't. But like I'm really fucking irritated right now because I gotta talk to you.
Yeah.
And I gotta sit here and listen to like, you know, the weird rules. Like, oh, did you not have your feet fucking flat on the ground? By the way, the difference between your feet being elevated and flat on the ground when you're sitting in the fucking blood pressure chair is 10.
Negligible.
It's 10. No, it's 10 points.
No way.
Yeah, dude. 4 times it's happened.
Yeah. I've definitely been there. You know how they like check your height, weight, and your blood pressure, and they're like, you're like 148 over whatever, and they're like, that's pretty high. You know, you have high blood pressure. I was like, not really, but was like,
One
if you
here.
if you put that cuff on my left arm and you let me breathe for a minute, it'll go back down. Like, just leave me in this fucking room for a minute and let me like breathe this out,
Yeah.
and it'll go back down. Like, it'll be fine.
I've had nurses comment that I'm way low. Like, did you just wake up from a nap? I'm like,
Yes,
nah,
the answer
man.
is always yes. So mine's more localized. So, I don't go through those things that I think people do that have different types of PTSD. I think that I have a lot of learned behaviors and like hyper focus and hyper vigilance when it comes to being in public and everything. I guess you could say that that's a form of PTSD, and it might be undiagnosed, but I don't know anybody that was ever in the Army or the Marine Corps specifically, whether you were admin or whether you were a fucking grunt or whatever the fuck you did, that don't have some kind of hypervigilance and hyper focus that goes along because of all the things you went through, all the things you were taught.
Yep.
And, so those guys that see like a box sitting on the side of the road and think it's a bomb when they're driving, just in the civvy world. Well, I still see that too, right? But it's not something that I'm going to go off about and like lose my shit about because I'm able to bring myself back, real quick instead of just the lizard brain taking over and going full retard, hard R.
I have a weird. Okay, so a couple things on that real quick. So I have a really fucking weird moment for me on that shit. So the first thing I want to talk about is like your PTSD. So all PTSD derives from the same basis of a trigger.
Trauma
Whatever that
event.
is. Yeah, trauma event. Yeah. So all of us could experience it. You could be like, you don't even have to be a veteran. You don't have to be anything. You could just experience it. Like, look, Rudy's not a veteran, but he has fucking trauma.
Right.
So whenever you experience a trigger, your brain says go, 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 and your adrenal gland kicks up, right?
Well, your cortisol, your cortisol, adrenal, everything.
All of it, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then you fucking function at like fight or flight, whatever the fucking new terms are, mode, and it stays there. PTSD is the inability to drop back down and phase back down.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we talked about a couple episodes ago, is that when they go and look at everybody for PTSD, they test the cortisol levels, and the cortisol levels are always low because veterans are constantly having the spike and crash, or the spike, but never really get to crash. So the baseline is completely different for somebody that has PTSD versus somebody that's just, living life all hunky dory.
Yep. Yeah. But like, it's for anything. Like, you can literally get PTSD from anything. How do you cope with PTSD is the actual real question we all have to ask ourselves. How do you cope? There's many different ways to cope. The way that I beat mine was by singing karaoke. I know it's weird, but I've talked about it many times before, and I don't stop talking about it, right? But like Rudy's going to have, like, he probably draws where he can disconnect, right? It's cathartic.
Do a lot, but going back to that, I'm serious. I think the reason why I never really got back in the pool to try to conquer that fear is I just was so afraid of actually drowning again. Because I came so close the first time. Now, how to combat that? I get as close to the water and in the water anytime I can, but I still won't go and get lessons. You know what I mean? I still won't give over that trust to have somebody teach me. Not even Al. I mean, he's tried to do it fucking countless amount of times. You know what I mean? He's a great swimmer. My mom is a great swimmer. I know a ton of great swimmers, and they're like, I'll teach you. I was like, no, it's a block in my brain. However, I don't fear the water itself. You know what I mean? So when I'm close to it, like I have a ball on the boat, you know what I mean? And then when we go play in the thing, I throw a vest on with the kids, you know what I mean, and float around, in the cove all day or whatever. But I
Well,
mean,
it's become a safer place when it comes to situations like that, though. Has it not?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not in the middle of the pool and, where I can't touch with someone that I don't fucking know or trust or even if it is a family member or a close friend that I want to give that trust to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But being able to be in a safe place with it, around people that can save me if something were to go tits up, then you're right. It does turn into a more comfortable, safer place,
Hmm.
So, real question. When it comes to that, I look at my life versus everybody else's life in a very, very like we're in a silo, right? Everybody has a very different silo that makes up like this huge like conglomerate of humanity. Do you think that when you experience trauma, if you have a support system, it's better for you? Or do you think when you battle that trauma and conquer that trauma on your own, that it's better? Because I have my own thoughts, but I'm asking these wonderful gentlemen in front of me that question because I think it's a very complex answer.
Me personally, I think that it kind of goes it goes side by side. I don't think it's so I don't think it's a siloed. I think that talking about it, and I think that's what gets a lot of people off the pills, is going out there and unloading that and talking about it with somebody, talking about it with a professional that actually knows how to treat PTSD and knows the signs and what to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that can help people. It can help people, and then you also, when doing that, receive the advice and the tools to get through that type of stuff. So it equips you and your tool bag with the things to actually overcome that situation.
Okay.
And then talking about it, I think those two things kind of coincide with the actual healing and maybe the adaptation of your daily life. I don't know. What do you think, Bo?
I'm of the same opinion, and knowing a lot of people close to me, with PTSD issues, and seeing how some thrive and some don't. I think that a lot of there's not it's just, both of them are kind of swinging doors. But I think that it has to be an ongoing process. Whether you think you've conquered it or not, you may not have. But to either go back to referencing those tools or go back to referencing your support system, whether that be your friends, your family, a professional, whatever it is. I think that's huge and that's important to keep conquering it. You know what I mean? In a healthy way. I
Yeah,
think,
the continual healing of it.
yeah, because no
Yeah.
one can conquer it for you. So I'm of the opinion you got to have the tools to conquer it yourself, or it's not going to get conquered. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So like, so I think of it like this, and this is going to be echoing what you guys said, right? You're going to battle a dragon, right? You can't battle a dragon with your fucking bare hands. I mean, you can, but you're going to lose, right? So you got to go and get equipped to battle the dragon,
Yeah, if you don't
so
have the
to speak,
tools. Yeah.
right? You got to get the Melnick sword, bro. You got to fucking fight the fucking
Oh my God, don't start this fucking
You
shit.
gotta
the
you
lava
gotta fight the dragon,
bro.
bro. You gotta be
Fire
in your
dragon,
blues
bro.
to do it.
Fucking, that's how process, bro.
I thought you were
All right.
talking about Lord of the Rings.
No,
man,
dude. We're talking about the Marine Corps
fucking
commercial,
Oh,
dude,
okay,
from the
okay.
90s.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll take the
The
Marine Corps.
recruitment.
You can,
Yeah,
yeah,
get
you
the
can,
fuck out of here.
yeah,
I
you
love,
can
I
talk
love,
about
I
that
love
all
the,
day.
I love the Lord of the Rings, man. It's a fucking great series, but like,
Oh,
I'm not gonna
fucking
talk
way.
about that all the time.
I've seen like a half of one. On that note, let's take a little break and then
Yeah.
we'll come back and we'll tackle the physical injuries.
All
Ooh.
right, let's hear from our main sponsor.
Yeah.
Bearded Viking.
Hey friends, this is a boat from the Bearded Viking. Just want to remind you that the flavors are going fast. Hurry up and get one of the first 4 or all 4 of the first 4 while you still can at beardedviking.com. And when you get them, grab a buddy, have a meet up, talk to your guys.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh shit.
So we, coming back from our little word from our sponsors, right? So we talked about the mental aspect of it and the PTSD, brain injuries, and just being able to overcome those. But one thing that we talk about the mental health aspect a lot, but we have to talk about the physical health, right?
Mhm.
So, being a man, not being able to be as physical as you want because of an injury, and how that may impact your mental health as well. So what, if you had to pick, 1 or 2 things, because I know we all have them, none of us are, I mean, you guys are old as fuck, but,
You dropped this.
but I'm still fucked up, too. So I really don't have a whole lot of room to talk. But so if you had to pick, 1 or 2 of those physical injuries, Bo, what would you point out? What do you think is the most detriment to your mental health? And, how do you work through it on a daily?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think the TBI is number one because it's a daily struggle. You know what I mean? And there's no real fixing it. I spoke about the therapies and stuff that I'm doing with the cell therapy stuff, but who knows if that's going to work or not. So I can't really put all, all the faith into that going to work. So I just got to keep doing what I do, and trying to do the memory training and stuff like that to try to, combat it because I don't feel like it's getting worse. I don't know. You can tell me that. I don't know.
I ain't getting better.
But it ain't getting any better. And I think that's my number one because of the because it's a daily struggle. And then the number 2 is definitely the Crohn's. And it's not like a physical injury, but it's something inside of me that I can't control, and they can't really, you can't put in an artificial like a knee replacement, you know what I mean, or a shoulder replacement. You can't go in there and do that and then all of a sudden you're great, you know what I mean. That doesn't happen with your internal organs like that. Well, at least your colon. And if it gets bad enough, they can go in and do a surgery, but at the same time, it's not going to fix it. You know what I mean? I mean, the damage is there and it's going to come back, and it's not going to, that's something that's not going to go away either. I hear there are things where people have reduced to almost nothing their Crohn's symptoms and stuff like that, which is super awesome. And I always look at that kind of stuff. But the thing is I'm not going to do it with pharmaceuticals. You know what I mean? I'm on a nature path, and I feel like the more pharmaceuticals and crap that you put in your body, it's just a fast track to
something else is popping up. You're gonna
fucking
kill you.
yeah,
Well, the
being
thing is,
horizontal.
well, the thing is they're like what speaking on that, just real quick fucking rant. Like what good do they actually have to fucking heal you? Like what are they going to receive from that? A one and done customer? I mean, big pharma is like,
Exactly.
they're just
Exactly.
fucking milking you along as you go.
Yeah,
Like
They're not
I
in to
can't.
heal you. They're not in it to heal you.
They're in
in
to
it to
fucking
pad their pockets, bro.
Yeah, they're in prolonged fucking make you as close to miserable, but you feel like you're winning fucking mode forever.
Right.
Like fuck them.
I do have
Right.
something that is pretty cool that we'll talk about after we kind of go down our list of physical injuries that may be a gateway into something really fucking cool and a gateway into healing
Oh,
for
man, I'm excited.
most, if not all, of
Is
our
it DMT?
situations. No,
DMT?
Nice.
no, it's not.
I want to talk to Odin.
Well, I mean, you can talk to him whenever you want.
Like face to face though.
like silly Simon.
Like this.
Yeah.
That's me. What about you?
About JT? Let's hear JT.
Oh,
JT? Oh, you want?
We'll do me
you-
last. We'll do me
you wanna-
last.
You want?
I'm the host now.
You're batting cleanup.
Okay? I'm the captain
that's fine.
now.
So I have to. Well, okay. So, the vitamin T that I'm on helps out with a lot of my fucking injuries. That are injuries, right? I have a TBI, but I've actually been able to overcome a lot of my TBI just via fucking brute force and sheer willpower. But like that's like literally everything, and like you guys both have been on like many meetings or hung out with me many times. I still forget stuff, right? But I just accept it now, so I don't actually it's not a thing that I've got past like the try to fix it part. I just accept the fact that like you'll never catch me in a lie because I don't lie, because if I lie I can barely remember the truth. So like I just don't do that, So it actually makes me a better person in that aspect, and I look for that kind of that glory on my side. For me, the thing that really hurts the most is the fucking post-nasal drip fucking issue that I have that's from fucking fighting overseas. Because like my nose just fucking bleeds randomly now. I have like that constant cough and hack thing that you guys have heard. You guys are always like, oh, it's a smoker's hack, smoker's cough. I still have it. I don't smoke. I've been smoke-free since December 7th.
Hey,
right?
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
Good
I appreciate
job.
that, by the way. Yeah. I'm in.
It's a good thing to quit.
Yeah. But like for me, like there's not a day that goes by that I can't, like, so many times I've projectile vomited in the truck from like I start coughing and I can't stop. I cough so hard that I just fucking throw up in the truck. Like to the point where we actually have like those fucking
like the medical puke bags.
airplane bags. Like
Yeah, the airplane bags, yeah.
In the truck. Like that's not even a joke. Like and like so that really fucking hinders my ability to be happy. Cause like it's just a matter of time every day until I fucking cough so hard I puke.
Right, because you never know when one of those is gonna hit.
Yeah.
Right.
Like and it can be spurred on by anything. It could just be like, I breathed air. like this is a real thing. So
Thanks,
it
air.
Yeah, so
Dick.
it really fucks with your psyche because like, with the big beard, it's not like I'm not fucking catching everything that's fucking coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be there. There's nothing you can do about it. And it's not even only that, but like sometimes it'll happen and I have got, Vika and the kiddos in the truck and we're cruising down the 90 at 85 miles an hour, the Interstate 90 at 85 miles an hour. Like now, right? Fucking now?
Yeah.
Like, and you're surrounded by semis. Like, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to puke and fucking rally while you're in the truck. And it's like either on the windshield or in your fucking hand or in your lap or whatever. And that's like super humiliating. And you're just like now I have to fucking carry extra pairs of clothes. Like, I'm that guy already. I'm fucking 42 this year in October.
Yeah.
Like fuck you. Like, it's humiliating. It's absolutely right. So that's one thing that I battle with. And the other thing is just like the fact that I don't bounce anymore. I crunch. Like when I got bucked off my horse like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is as far as my fucking arm, my wrist will go to the left. Like
he's wearing leather as a wrist brace.
Well, no, I got this cool fucking new
It's a stabilizer.
I got these like it's ego to stale, which is this, but like here, same. Anyway, but like if you look here, you can see the difference, right? Like I can't even do a fucking push up because it hurts to the point where my wrist is fucked. And then bone bruise, man. I can't tell you how fucking bullshit a bone bruise is.
You don't have to tell either
next
of us,
time I
bro.
come to Montana, dude, I'm gonna give you a
decades.
bone bruise.
Fuck you, bro. You can give me a bone bruise with your tongue. That's fine. But no, man. I like this. The psyche behind that is like, you get this. Like, it's weird. Like you get this super like human old man strength power, right? All of a sudden, but also now you crunch when you fucking do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's a bunch of bullshit. It's like you're super strong, but you crunch.
Yeah.
That's fucked up bullshit.
Yeah, I told sidebar, Murph's gonna ride a bull again. I told him, I'm gonna be out of town, so I don't get to watch it again. Like, dude, you do not bounce anymore. So when I come back, I'm gonna visit you in the hospital.
I saw that. He posted that, and I was like, I immediately messaged him. I'm like, you know that you're not young, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, right, mister, I don't have fucking any knees left.
Right. No, it's but how do you overcome that? Obviously you can overcome, not bouncing by not riding bulls and, not jumping off of, the second story and stuff anymore onto a horse or, whatever. But how do you combat the puke and rally stage of the postnasal drip? And I totally feel your pain on that. I have basically just no sinus left after my ordeal, but I don't have I don't have the puke thing, but I will get the cough thing.
It's so fucking annoying. So I don't know. I don't even know how I overcome it, because I think I'm just fucking. It's like that thing. Like if somebody just fucking drills into you every day for the rest of a year, right? Like they just stick a screw to you every day. Like eventually you just become numb to the pain. So like it's super fucking annoying, because I'm so numb to it. And it's funny because like if you're ever in the truck, right, with me and Vika, and you're in the back seat and she's in the front seat, and I start coughing, she immediately grabs a bag and hands it to me. Like there's no if.
Yeah.
It's when.
It's a good thing you got rubber floor mats. And you know what I found out through my ordeal from one of the docs that did it was an ENT actually that did one of the evaluations on me about a year ago now, is she said that there is an option now where they can actually go into your sinus and they can file parts of it down. And like she said, because sometimes you have like burrs basically in there because it's so fucked up from all the postnasal drip and stuff like that. And I was like, and she's like, she actually was somebody who had it done. And she's like, I don't get allergies anymore. I don't get, the postnasal drip thing anymore. I was like, well, this is really fucking appealing. I need to come back and talk to you. I'm like, do you have a private practice where I can just come talk to you? Because I like you. You're cool. You're a solid gal.
Well, and I think that one of the things too is you were asking how it affects your mental health. These things, and I think the biggest way is just combating or overcoming by acceptance. You know what I mean? Especially now that we're older, there's not a ton of stuff that you can do about the stuff like the head thing. For me, I mean, I've had it for fuck.
Yeah, you're old as fuck. Yeah, keep counting, guy.
Like 35 years.
You want
it's
some crayons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting a purple crayon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like okay.
Take off your socks, guy. Years. Yeah.
And so it's just kind of become an acceptance thing and part of my daily life. And I think that that's the best way to combat that, because there's really no other way. With the Crohn's things we talked about, like that fucks with my mental like super hardcore, because I can't do anything. And then I can't eat. And then I can't take care of my kids. Like they're old enough to fend for themselves. They can take care of themselves. But at the same time, you still have that feeling like you need to be able to take care of them when they need it. You know what I mean? But I can't make them food like I like to do. I love to cook for those girls. You know what I mean? I couldn't do that. I could barely get off the couch or a chair or something like that, because all this. There's a lot of shit that fucks with your head in that, and really, keeping that in your conscious, and really, like I said, I read a lot, and then talked to whoever would talk to me. You know what I mean? Well, via text or phone or emails or whatever. and then keep working too. You know, last time or the time before this, I could barely even sit up to work. I was super bad. This time I was able to sit up a little bit more and I could actually work. So working really helped too. And then I got on the cast, you know, when I was starting to feel a little bit better, and that really fucking helped too, because I got to see this guy's beautiful beard and we got to talk and just act normal for a couple hours, you know what I mean? And those kind of things really kind of help the mental stay where it needed to stay, you know, because it fucks with you hardcore.
I think you know, from my perspective, it's weird because you're like, I'm not really the acceptance kind of person, but there's some things that you just gotta fucking accept, right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like you
You
really
have to have
just
that real conversation with yourself.
yeah, like it's like, well, this isn't going away. The VA said that it's not a real thing, so therefore it is a real thing,
Yeah.
right? They're like denied. You need to provide further evidence. Okay. We need sworn statements from people in your life every day that are around you every day. Okay, cool. Fuck you, 100%. Like, fuck you.
Hey,
like,
bro, will you write me a statement about,
man.
about how
Right.
you've seen me choke on air?
yeah. Would you let me know? Like, would you write a statement about the projectile vomit that fucking blasted across the fucking front of my window for no reason, just because I started coughing every like the 5 times that you've been in the truck, and like you think that I'm Alec McBeal, but like well built.
Yeah, I'm like,
you know,
fuck, how much did you drink tonight? I was
Right?
with you all night. Were you like sneaking drinks? No, dude.
like
I just
no.
air. I breathed.
Yeah.
Cough on it.
Fucking bullshit. For me, I think that's a real statement. I think Rudy is actually very profound about. It's if you deal with something long enough, you just fucking accept it, and then you just fucking work around it. I have a question for you guys both, right? That I actually is on the same level, and it's also talking about that manifesting things, right? So, a lot of people that I have now are starting to get cancer, right? They're diagnosed with cancer by some fucking quack. And as soon as they're diagnosed with it, it's like they go all the way downhill. Do you think this is really fucked because like it's obviously a real thing. But do you think that if they never got diagnosed with it and they just kept working through it, that they would live longer? Or do you think that they fucking fulfill that that prophecy?
I think in some cases there would be people that lived longer. And I think that getting diagnosed with cancer is one of the biggest mental mind fucks that you can have
Mm-hmm.
because they've made it to where you're being tortured to live a little bit of extra time.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about Nikola Tesla, and we've talked about a lot of that stuff where there's profound, I guess you could say, healing and magic in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that your mind has the ability to heal you. And it's almost like what we were talking about earlier with the manifest destiny. You know, basically manifesting the healing within, you know, parts of your body and things like that. And when you're in it, you're focusing on the symptoms and you're focusing on what's happening to you right then and there. And this might hit a little bit closer to home for you, Boat, because you just got done with this. But you're focusing on the symptoms and how to continue on without hurting yourself more. But the focus on healing yourself, I feel like kind of falls by the wayside because you're focused more on what's happening right then, there, and now.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that based off of, you know, there's been a lot of fucking research, you know, and that, you know, people don't just say, you know, laughing is the best medicine for, you know, just because. Like it really does,
for no
it really
reason,
does
yeah.
help. And you said that, getting on the podcast and getting into some normalcy helped you feel better because you weren't focused on the symptoms and everything that was taking place. And that allowed you to heal a little bit at a time. So I would say that the mental aspect of it, getting that diagnosis is obviously a huge shocker. And, we can talk about it. None of us have gone through it. We've had family members and friends and stuff like that go through it. And knowing that mental impact is one thing, but, I think that there's definitely some people out there that can help that mental aspect of healing it, and like the sound therapy, all kinds of crazy shit.
So, the weird. What do you think about this? Right, like, okay, so this is like a tangential conversation. So I talked about Vika and how she went, to see a shrink, right? Not a shrink, but
yeah,
so whatever, fucking mind reader.
Yeah.
If you were to take somebody who is looking for a cause or a solution to their problem, let's say it's they're diagnosed with cancer and they go to they fully believe in a shrink, right? Is it morally wrong for the shrink to say to you that you're going to beat this, even if you're not going to? The reason why I asked that question, right? Because what if that fight that you didn't know you had in you was literally just a spoken word from something that you absolutely believed in?
I think it's super powerful.
Right?
It's just like the belief in anything else.
Yeah. So
right?
there's so many like moments in time when people talk about, like, an example, somebody goes and meets the Dalai Lama, right? And the Dalai Lama says whatever he says, and next thing you know, they're fucking fully invested, and they're like living off of a fucking thimble full of water a week, and they're happy because they believe so implicitly into it. There's so much work and misunderstanding about the capacity that your brain has, that people forget that you're actually great. Like, you are actually fucking absolutely the greatest thing that the world has ever seen as a human. And when I say that, I mean it 100%, because you could be the greatest weapon, you could be the greatest kindness, you could be the greatest thought provoker, you could be the greatest anything, right? Humans aren't meant to fly, but yet we fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's no limitations on the mind and the power of thought. I get where you're coming from, and you bring up the Dalai Lama. Rather, you bring that up, right? But so you bring that up, and that Eastern belief and that Eastern type of medicine is really kind of old world stuff, but I think it's a lot of stuff that works. And just the Dalai Lama, for example, is it's basically a gigantic belief in reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
And that Dalai Lama will be reincarnated over and over again, right? So in our generation, we're going to see a kid that ends up being the new Dalai Lama.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll grow old at the same time as we're growing old, and everybody's going to have that same belief in him. So it's a very old world type of thinking that I think can really be effective. And there's that saying, mind over matter, right? And a lot of us live through that and live with that, and just keep going on. And I think that the acceptance is the hard part for me, is I'm not willing to just accept it, especially if I think there's things out there that could fix it, or things out there that can work. I'm not afraid of trying. And so
I heard you're not afraid of trying anything.
Well, I'm not going to jump out of a fucking plane anytime soon. I'm not afraid of jumping out of a plane, but I have no desire to go out into the fucking desert and do it. But as far as, trying that stuff, it's really kind of, if it might work, it's kind of a no-brainer to me. And with me, I have superficial stuff. I have 14 years of baseball on my shoulder. I have, Marine Corps on my knee, that type of stuff. And the knee that I thought I was bad, it's fine. Fucking works great now.
No, it's the other knee.
The other knee. It's the other knee, but I've found things that have started to help fix it.
It's called weed cream, bro.
No, dude, I actually was using that for a long time. The fuck is it called? I actually had a roll-on of it, the CBD.
Yeah, the CBD.
I actually had a roll-on that I was using a lot, especially when I was going to the gym and stuff like that. And it's just for me, it was pissing me off because I never ever want to be the dad that sits on the bucket to catch off my kid if he wants to pitch. And it's especially because I grew up catching for, 10 out of those 14 years.
It's the bad knee.
It's the left knee. And the thing is like you figure out how to adapt and get around it. And then magically one day, just like I was focused on it and I was taking collagen to try and repair it and everything like that. And it's gotten better, significantly better over the past like 3 or 4 months. Where in December, I could barely squat down and put the pressure on it. And now I can squat down just fine and get back up. And I don't know. It's just one of those things.
It just went away. Do you think it was a mind over matter thing, or was it just kind of like a just one of those fucking anomalies, like those old people anomalies?
Dude, well, and that's the thing is like, I've had those things like come and go. It's like, this is fucked up. Like I slept wrong. I fucked it up sleeping and then woke up and it was fucked up for like 3 months. And then all of a sudden it was just better.
Dude, I had the same thing with tennis elbow. Like fucking both my arms.
Yeah.
For like a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And same thing.
So those types of things, like it's started to go away. Every once in a while it'll creep back up, but never as bad as it was before. And obviously working out. I have so many
questions right now. I have so many questions.
Right.
I have so many questions.
But it started, I like started to hyper focus on it because it's pissing me off. Like you can ask Cole, it was pissing me off. It was pissing me off so bad that I wouldn't even get up and like go catch bullpens for the kids anymore. Or like if the kids, like catcher wasn't ready and I had to go out and warm up a kid, I'm like, that's all you, bro. Like it was pissing me off. And now I feel like it's significantly better and it's not how it was before. So yeah, I took collagen. That's supposed to help rebuild stuff. And I take it pretty religiously now, especially if I'm drinking coffee or something like that, throw it in there.
Mm-hmm.
But so these are like little things that I've done. And I notice like when I get off, when I don't take collagen for a while, like it'll hurt a little bit, but it's not.
Get off?
It's, oh yeah, dude, every time.
It's like you getting off. That's a sad moment for me. I was like, man,
it's like you getting bucked off.
Happy.
It's like you getting bucked off the horse.
Yeah, dude, you gotta watch out for that.
I want to let you guys know.
Yeah,
2 times in one day. 2 times in one day.
2 times.
2 times. First time, I actually got up and I was like, I get to say the thing. What's the thing? What happens when you
horse?
Oh, we're gonna get back on the horse. Brush myself off, and then she fucking did it again. Well, it's fine. Whatever. So I have a question for you guys. So in my belief system, there are many, many different gods, and you can venerate to or pray to whoever you want to, right? One of the gods I pray to is Odin. A lot of people pray to Odin because he's a warrior. I don't really care about being a warrior anymore because like I don't. I've already done that. Like that path, those days are past me, and if you bring me back to it, like we've talked about in the past, like you don't want me. I'm not gonna play by your rules because I don't care. I don't have anything else to lose. I just don't care anymore, right?
But the reason why I venerate to him is because he literally gave his eye for knowledge. So my question to you is, if you found a way that you could sacrifice something of yourself to have the knowledge to be around forever, look in your belief system like Moses, who was like 900 years old or whatever he was, right? Or like Jacob or any of those guys, any of those old prophets. They lived forever and ever and ever, right? And their families lived forever too. Would you do it? Because you're talking right now mind over matter, which is a very, very true thing, but throughout all religions across the board. People used to be really fucking old. And now we're like, I'm out at 72. Peace, bitch.
Yeah, well, and what you're talking about, I think, kind of comes down to like even like puberty then wasn't even hit until like 200, 300 years old.
Right.
So there's a lot of difference there, and we've talked about just, you know, on this very podcast about how that those aging genes or anti-aging genes were switched off. Right? So I don't know.
Anunnaki did.
Right. So I don't know if I'd be willing to make some kind of sacrifice because of our belief system, my belief system. I don't know if I'd be willing to make a sacrifice like that, because that seems
one
like
bad eye. You got, well, I mean, we got one bad eye. Like, you don't have to wear glasses now.
Right, but I mean it's such a superficial, selfish thing to me. And it seems like a sacrifice like that in the circumstances or the guidelines that you laid out would be more from like an evil side,
like a Lazarus pit,
like something like Fountain of Youth. Like, yeah. I'd go drink from it, but that's not really making a sacrifice, right? But if I was, you know, given the knowledge of this, and, you know, I had to sacrifice a leg or something like that, like I don't know, that I guess it really something like that would be dependent on where it came from, I think.
What if you learned how to prolong life, and you didn't have to, not like there was no rules that said that you can't share it, because there's nothing about that in what Odin did. He just wandered around the world, just fucking like delivering goods and being part of like people's lives and like impacting them in different ways. Very much like, you know, Jesus or whatever, right? So like if you have that ability, this is the paladin, like the Captain America that I always wanted to be, but I'm actually just Tony Stark, you know?
I'd say Black Panther at best.
Like Bruce Wayne.
But like not a detective. Like a Robin, maybe. Like a Robin.
I don't think that. I don't actually wear pants. If I don't have to wear pants, it's always a good day, anyways. Besides the point, but
True.
But that's actually for every human, regardless. But my question is like, we have everybody has illnesses, everybody has injuries, everybody has these things that fucking get in the way of us being successful, quote unquote successful, right? Successful to the world standard, not to our own standards, right? When I look at the three men that are on this call, on this podcast, I really look at people who are successful in very many different ways. We're not rich, we're not all these things, but we do have a brotherhood that we've kind of changed over the years. We were talking a long time about holding each other extremely accountable and not propping each other up, but now we're switching. Like, we've, over the past like 2 years of this company and the growth that we have, we do vent about things that people that our friends piss us off, right? Our brothers piss us off. That's just human nature. But we strive to vent to find a solution to empower the person that's bugging us to be better. And then when that person wins, we don't talk about us. We talk about that person. And so if you take that to the level of growth or overcoming like mind over matter, like we all do, I think once you hit like 35, it's literally just mind over matter from there. Like you wake up in the morning, you're like, I don't know what I did, but both my arms won't work. I don't get it.
I slept on both my arms at the same time.
Right? And numb for 3 days.
Like, you know, that mentality of like, today sucks.
I do have an idea on this, but I do want to hear from Boat. Like, I want to hear what your thoughts are about this.
Jump in there.
Well, to your first point, no, I wouldn't sacrifice for age or knowledge, because in my belief system, that would put you at like prophet status and or idol status, and that's I believe, yeah, I wouldn't do it because of that.
I love the humility on that, by the way.
I appreciate that, and because that would suggest that you're equal to Jesus, which nobody is. So and so on that point, no. On the other point, you know, I guess you don't need, universal knowledge to be a good person. You can do that on your own, and you can lift your brothers up on your own, and you can choose to change your thought patterns and your actions and or reactions toward certain situations or certain people or whatever, and you can choose to surround yourself with better people. You know what I mean? And people that do lift you up. So that makes you want to reciprocate that. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't think you need universal knowledge for that, or eternal youth for that. You can do that in the time that we have. Yeah, it'd be cool if that, like we said, that if that age thing didn't turn off, you know what I mean? And we just naturally lived, 200, 300, 400, 500 years, whatever. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool to see the world change. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
But at the same time, do you want to see the world change in 500? You just think about where the world's going to be in 500 years. I think it's going to be a shit show. You know what I mean? And so, or it might go in waves. It's a shit show. It's cool. It's a shit show. It's cool. There's another flood. It's cool. There's a heat and cool system, cycle that fucking sucked. I mean, there's just a lot that goes on in that amount of time that I don't know if I'd want to see,
I would love it. Like, I'm not trying to get out of here anytime soon. Like, if that just, if like those different gifts were just bestowed upon me and I could share them, then I would. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
And living for 500 years, I'd be totally cool with it. I would definitely share the things that I knew and the things that I learned. But I think as far as the sacrifice and stuff goes, the only thing that I'm going to sacrifice myself for is my family. My wife, my kids, my family. That that's kind of as far as my sacrifice goes. You know what I mean? And go ahead.
Sorry. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I was actually just going to jump in on that. So that ends up being a greater good conversation, right? Like, is there a greater good? I think there's a greater good always in life to a point. Because at some point you have to choose between your children and your lineage. And like, not always. So I should actually clarify. There's sometimes in which you as a child make choices that your parents have already made, and they tell you not to, and they'd be willing to sacrifice everything so you don't make that choice because they've already done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in essence, if you're a good person, you're always sacrificing.
Well, the key word that you used there was a choice, right?
Yeah.
So free will, whether it's Odin, whether it's Jesus, whether it's God, you still have free will. And I think what separates us is the profound belief in each other,
Mhm.
the profound belief in basically your brothers and your tribe,
Yeah.
which we've really we've developed this over time. You touched on it a little bit about how our frame of mind and our path of thinking has really changed over the past 2-3 years. And right now we're really in this sweetheart stage where we're learning that profound belief in each other. And we do believe in each other, and that's something that is hard pressed to find in this world, is
But
finding the people that you can actually believe in and finding something that you can believe in.
do you feel like when I'm gonna ask about this question because like you're a cynic. I don't actually want to hear you right now. I want to actually hear about on this one. So do you think that the sacrifice, the choice that you make on a daily basis, Bo, to smile and be happy, even when people piss you all the fucking way off? Maybe they're shrugging responsibilities. Maybe you get a change order at the end of like you just finished your fucking this photo that you've built, right?
Just close
And
my computer and get a
and you
text.
just close it and they get a text, right? But you look at it and you say, okay, this is for the betterment of them, which is going to better their ability to market and grow, and you're because of this change, it's that butterfly effect. You don't know how many people or generations it affects, and it makes better.
Mhm.
Do you think that those moments go by without being noticed more often than not?
Um, I would say yes and no, but the people that I work with they're good people and they're grateful. Um, and unfortunately, in my line of work, I rarely get to see the end product. And I totally love the butterfly effect thing, because I know that's going on somewhere because I made a choice to open my computer back up, do this quick change so they could get it out to when they need it out, and that it's going to be on time and yada yada yada, and that goes down the line. And I love the thought of that. And those kind of choices I like making on, to the positive side because I know that that's happening in the background, and I know that somebody's going to be better for it. Now, do I feel like I'm owed a pat on the back for that? No. I'm doing my job, man. I'm doing my job as a graphic designer, graphic artist, and I'm doing my job as a human. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be a dick to this client or this person that I'm doing a logo for, or the company that, you know what I mean, that we're running. If making that choice, I think is going to be the betterment for everybody. Now, do I feel like I need to do that for the whole world in a span of 500 years? No, I don't. I don't feel like that's my responsibility. I think it's like Al said. I think it's our own individual responsibility. And because the thing is there's still going to be shitty people. There's still going to be people that make negative choices. There's still going to be people that um, unalive other people. There's still going to be those kind of people out there. And I'm not going to be able to change everybody. You know what I mean? And to think that I could is ridiculous. And then to think that everybody has to be, I don't know, I guess dumb to the fact that like that people are always going to make better choices. It's just not going to happen. So I don't think it's my job or my concern to change everybody to a positive side. like I said, I think it's up to the individual and the choices that you make in a time. And I've had recent experience with this, and it's really, 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 really sad when you give somebody an A and B, a positive and negative choice to take over and over and over again, and they keep choosing the negative, the negative, the negative, the negative. And that's when got to cut you off. I got to cut you free. I can't do it because it's affecting me negatively. And right. I can't live like that.
That's the whole thing that we've talked about in the past, right? Like I won't be there for you to drive drunk or your car crash, but I'll be there for your recovery thing. I do want you to know something real quick. And a lot of listeners probably don't know this, and you probably don't even realize this because you're just a doer, which is what I surround myself with, and I think you guys surround yourself with as well. Like, I came to you in the 11th hour with the 57th change for the labels for the company. It was fucking dumb, right?
I was about to jump out the window.
Yeah, so was I. Because I was like, I got to go back to this guy.
On the basement floor.
No shit. I landed in the rocks, scraped my knees up, and then...
He's jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have crawled back in and opened my computer back up.
But we had 1,000 people at our grand opening. And we wouldn't have had 1,000 people if we wouldn't have had a product to sell.
Yeah.
That impact that you made that day, the day before, 2 days before, whatever it was, right? Maybe that hour. You introduced your label, our label, your art to the world in a way that was able to bring people together at the meadery. And those changes, because you did that, are exponential. People have come to the meadery and sat down. Sorry, 1 second.
No, you're good. Yeah.
So 4 kids came in. They had neck tattoos. They looked like they dipped their face in a fucking tackle box. Sat down around the fire with a flight of fucking mead that you created a label for at the 11th hour, and sat in that. And then these old white ranchers walked in, this gentleman and his wife, and there was nowhere else for them to sit. This is like after you all left, so they sat down next to this couple, or these 4 kids, and those 6 people were laughing and smiling, shaking hands, saying thank you, saying I love you, thanks so much for everything. But you don't see that, but I do, because I'm there, right? And so they left, and you could totally tell which side of the aisle they voted for. Like, you could, it's not known, right?
Yeah.
Hair color, all of those things aside, but you did that. And you don't know that you did that because, yeah, sure, the hooch was great, and it was flowing, and the fucking fire pit was great, and the ambiance was there. But we couldn't have done that without you.
Well, and we talked about this a few episodes ago about legacy and how you specifically have a legacy unknown because you're doing artwork, right? Mm. So you're doing the artwork, but you're doing artwork that propels different companies and different places forward in what they do. And when they see the artwork that really hits, they're like, that's pretty cool. I'm going to go check this out. So you don't really see that legacy, and then people don't see the guy who did it. They just saw it, and then they showed up. And what you were just talking about, without really mentioning it, was ambivalence. And how what you do, you don't really set out doing what you do, whether it be artwork or whether it be your daily life, and make sacrifices based off of how you think it's going to impact anybody else.
Yeah.
And that in its nature is ambivalence. And none of us are really going to know the impact that we had on somebody else until it's way too late. And, somebody shoveling dirt on top of us or throwing our
Yeah.
ashes off the top of a fucking mountain or something.
Yeah.
So
That's
just, that's what I'm saying. Just like put a little bit of me in each one of those fucking shotgun shells and just fucking blow me off of something. But you know what I mean? Like, you don't understand that type of ambivalence until you know what the impact is, because your little sacrifice, and this goes for everybody, not just you, and not just Bearded Viking or VOC or anything like that, but individually you go through life and you make these choices, and the choices are yours alone to make in most cases. You might have a spouse or a buddy that you're running it past, but ultimately you're the one who has to make those choices. And depending on those choices later on down the line, it is going to impact somebody some way or somehow.
Mhm.
So I think, that whole saying, hey, make good choices, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's very true, because based off of the choices that we make, it could have a impact on somebody later. And we started this, the whole basis of starting this whole podcast was that maybe we could help one person.
Yep.
And maybe we've helped one, maybe we've helped 5, maybe we've helped more than we know. We'll never know. And that's not and us knowing is not the important part.
No.
But the choices that we make in possibly being able to reach out and help somebody, or them seeing this and it actually something clicking and then making a change for the better, that's what we have to live with. That's our choice, is that we've done this to try and impact somebody for the better and help them move along in a better way. So I think it's really cool. It's something that we never really thought about, because we started out just wanting to help one person.
Yeah.
And if we help more, that's just icing on the cake, right? So I think that the choices that we make every day are super important. And I think that, especially with this company, we're very face forward. And the things that people see are the things that are really going on within the company. We're not just fluffing stuff up on social media and everything like that. And, one day it could be our downfall, because we're showing everybody exactly how we're doing it and how we're doing and how it goes. But that's our choice, right? And
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of power and there's a lot of impact in those choices.
I think you're right, man. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. And I asked Rudy that question specifically because I don't ever think that Rudy actually knows the impact he has on people. Now, Rudy and I, for many listeners, y'all don't know how many times we've duked it out. Like, it's brutal fucking drunk fucking conversations where sometimes I win, sometimes he wins. But realistically, we both won. And we're actually really fucking tight now. Like, I'd say I'm the second, like Rudy and I are the second tightest people in the company besides you two. Just because of that.
It comes back to the profound belief in each other. And the belief that you can have a disagreement and still move forward in the same direction.
Yeah, I mean, I can't
open lines of communication.
Yeah, and have those things, those battles bring us to the same page and the same ground, and bring more respect, you know what I mean, of just each other's opinions and the difference of opinions, and finding common ground. I think that's huge, and I don't think a lot of people get to experience that and then have something positive come out of it, you know what I mean? And that was our choice, to have something positive come out of it, because we could have been like fuck you, and then walk away and then never talk to each other again, and that could have turned out a whole hell of a lot different, you know what I mean, for our friendship, for this brotherhood that we're creating, for the company, and for a lot of things,
Yeah. I mean, I think with those things and with that positive growth, like Al and I have a fucking legit rule. If it's something that's in your craw and you have heartburn, you don't text before coffee.
Yeah.
That's a real statement for both of us. Like, Like, because neither of us are really willing and prepared mentally to deal with the other person's like strong belief that we're going forward and we're doing right by the thing. The reality is we're both trying to drive forward, right? And we just got to fucking get that morning post-nut clarity, I guess, if you want to call it that, to be able to talk to each other, right? It's
Yeah,
like
sometimes we need that post-whiskey therapy too, because sometimes the coffee's just not strong enough. But those are the kind of battles and stuff. And we've gotten a little bit off topic because we've talked about, we started talking about the choices and, kind of the ambivalence of it, open lines of communication. We started off with the physical limitations that we have and how we work through the physical limitations that we have. And I think that it's the kind of the path that we took and, we kind of unweaved is really good. And it's really good for people to see and hear because it's something that's it's not necessarily something that you can go out and look for. It's something that people don't find every single day. And, we're lucky and blessed to have these types of relationships with each other and the whole crew and being able to have those open lines of communication. But some people still don't have that with a significant other or a friend in their life or something like that. And I think that's important. It's an important thing to have and a value to have for yourself and the people around you. Otherwise, you're just kind of spinning your wheels, I think, as far as, the relationships you are in and the people that are around you, whether it be, a relationship with your buddies or a relationship with, your significant other, what have you. But I think we're still talking about, no matter what, repairing things that have been broken, whether it's physical, whether it's, metaphysical, mental. We're still talking about a whole lot of things that need to be fixed or worked on.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to echo that too. Like you and I have been we've battled and battled and battled for the greater good, I guess, if you want to call it, right? So, but like that's 100% because we make that choice to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really what it comes down to. What, like, I think where you're maybe coming from is like you could either let your inabilities be a handicap, or you could be like handicap people and let your inabilities, like change your inabilities to growth and strength.
Yeah, well, and I think the biggest message is don't let your mental, your physical inabilities win, right? Fight back, figure out a way to win. Right now, I'm going through a personal thing and a personal fight and struggle. And it's that the last time we took a break, I forgot that my whiskey was out there. Just to add a little bit of lemon to this. So,
that's fair.
Right now,
that's fair.
I have no whiskey. I have a couple of bush lattes, but there's a couple things that we have left to talk about. So let's get another word from the sponsors. I gotta go grab it.
Hey friends, this is a boat from the Bearded Viking. Just want to remind you that the flavors are going fast. Hurry up and get one of the first 4 or all 4 of the first 4 while you still can at beardedviking.com. And when you get them, grab a buddy, have a meetup, talk to your guys.
Okay, so we're getting back into it. We did talk about the physical injuries. We talked about the mental health aspect of it, but there's this new thing. I don't know where Montana sits on it, but one of our good friends has started a company called Hazel Health and Wellness, and it's our good buddy Devin, and he started this company with a bunch of docs and everything, and there's been legislation and everything that's been passed through law here in Utah where you can actually use regenerative medicine. And regenerative medicine and stem cells being at the forefront of it. And we're talking like good stem cells, not, there's a lot of these clinics now that are going through that you can go to in like Puerto Rico or South America, or even the Dominican Republic now, that actually do stem cells and work on regenerative medicine. It's actually helping a lot of people, especially fighters and things like that. And
Quarterbacks named Peyton Manning.
quarterbacks. I don't know if he's done it, but I'd imagine. I mean, he's a buddy of Rogan's. But really, what it is it's the injection of stem cells, and they're basically programmed to fix what is ailing you. And it's not crazy like pseudoscience or anything like that, but it's actually helping people. It's helping regrow discs in their back. It's helping, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, stuff like that. So there actually is things now in this day and age that we live in that can actually help people. And it's now outside of pharmaceuticals.
Even better.
Yeah, these stem cells are all harvested. They have basically the lineage of where they came from, because based on a couple conversations, a lot of it is harvested from placenta and umbilical cords, things like that. And a lot of people freak out about that, but it comes from natural birth. And one of the things that was happening under the second Bush administration was this research. And it was mainly going into people that had kidney failure and issues with their pancreas. And it was actually really, really effective treatments for them, and it was helping regenerate kidneys and pancreases, so people could get off of all the synthetics, the dialysis, all the synthetic drugs, everything like that. It really reversed a lot of it for everybody that was in these trials. During the Obama administration, they canceled it. I have a good friend that the reason why I know about the study and the research is because he was trying to get in on it. And they actually canceled it before he could get in on the trials. And he was one of the people that got dosed with the bad batch of anthrax.
Oh, that's fine.
And that bad batch of anthrax killed a ton of people.
Yeah.
And it murdered the pancreas of so many others. So, my good friend, he has an actual insulin pump. And this is one of the trials that he wanted to do, and then it was canceled. And then it was never really picked back up by any of the subsequent administrations, because it was one of those things that just got canceled and dropped. So now Utah's passed the laws that you can actually go in and you can do the regenerative medicine now. And they're actually selling the stuff and the things to different states that have passed these laws. So you can go to these clinics and have their stuff that's tried, tested, and true, and have this regenerative medicine help. So there's a lot of really, really positive outlook on it. And it's not just a rich man's therapy now. It's cost effective, people can afford it, and people can do it. So I got to give them a huge shout out, because, obviously they're not a paid partner or anything like that, but it's something to look into if you're having those elements that are impacting you mentally because of your physical limitations.
Dude, we might have to have him on and have him tell a little bit more about it and tell the story. That would be super cool. Super cool.
Montana has that in place. There's actually 31 regenerative medicine places here: sports spine and regenerative medicine, biocellular regenerative medicine, another sports spine and orthopedic, which is really fucking weird.
What's really cool is it takes the fucking pharmaceutical and the FDA and Pfizer and all those fuckers right out of the picture.
Yeah, right out of the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like it's actually a really big thing here. I wonder if they can do that for my fucking neck. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So they've actually...
Not that I have a neck anymore, but...
It's actually been shown to regrow discs. And in the past, it has been thought that you cannot regrow disc tissue.
Although this one place that I'm looking at right here, which is Performance Injury Care and Sports Medicine, has got 1.5 stars. probably wouldn't recommend that.
Probably don't want to go there.
Probably
But,
skip that one.
They're not all a bad case. But you reach out to Hazel. They're based out of Utah, and they can point you in the right direction. So I thought that was cool. I think what we were talking about, the physical impacting the mental.
Is that Devin the photographer?
That is Devin.
Yeah.
Oh,
He finally found his calling, and I'm super proud of the dude. What he's been doing with it is super cool.
Good. He actually
That's
knew my
kick-ass.
buddy who passed away 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Very
there's
cool.
there's hope. There's hope on the horizon.
I got super creepy. I'm gonna put my sunglasses on.
You probably should for this next one.
Yeah, no shit, my tinfoil hat.
Yeah, so we're gonna transition into the tinfoil hat area.
We need to do the tinfoil hat photo of you.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went, man. It's lost.
Dude, don't worry.
That's fine.
I can implant it. I'll put it in the comments.
I got you. Got you.
Put it in the comments.
I'll put it in the comments, dude. It's gonna be our biggest episode just because of the tinfoil boat. So I told you about it at the very beginning when we kind of went down the agenda, but there has been ongoing discoveries in the Uinta Mountains of Spanish treasures and Spanish gold doubloons being found since the early 70s or mid 70s on up until today. So the Uintas run at about anywhere from like 7,000 feet above sea level to, I think they go all the way up to 12 and a half. Mount Baldy. I think Mount Baldy is somewhere around 12,000.
Is Kings Peak part of that?
Negative. No.
I think Kings Peak's like 12.2, so probably 11 and a half.
Semantics.
So with that being said, let's see. I'll figure out how high it is. But
It's Willie Nelson high.
What I'm getting at is there's no boats that crash there. Like there's no Spanish galleons that crash there at any point in history.
Right.
So to have Spanish treasure, Spanish swords, Spanish coins, gold coins, and plates of armor to be found in the Uintas really kind of jacks me up. Because what the fuck were they doing all the way up? The Colorado was gone, right? They were way past Colorado. What were they doing up there, guys?
How far back do those date back to? Do you know?
Oh, dude, that's like 1400s. Those are like Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Like,
yeah,
that's
1500s.
Yeah.
So 12,500 or 12,085 is what the peak of Mount Baldy is. So there's no boats crashing in the Uintas. So we're not looking for galleons that crashed. There's a bunch of Spanish assholes walking through the mountains of the Uintas in plates of armor.
Can you just be like, this, like every part of me as a Marine infantryman is like, this motherfucker.
This fucking sucks.
Fuck
Whose idea was this?
you.
Where did they get off? Where did they get? Did they get off in Arizona, or did they get off in southern Utah, and just hike?
Fuck, man, dude.
What is the story behind this?
Can you imagine that? Like, hey guys, listen. So, I need you guys to carry the gold.
Right. No wonder people are dead up there.
Like, for anybody who's ever like carried a gold bar,
That shit is heavy as fuck.
Yeah, they're like 50 pounds.
It's not like
a little bar.
Yeah. So you what are you doing? You're carrying a fucking chest of gold in fucking plated armor up
12,000 feet? When these motherfuckers are literally living at fucking sea level? Like, they blink and they're out of fucking breath. Like, how did you get there? Did you
Probably in the
teleport?
summertime.
Yeah, it couldn't be.
Couldn't be winter. You can't
I
get up
mean-
that fucking high in the winter walking.
I mean,
I
you
mean,
can,
they didn't
but
have
not in fucking
snowmobiles.
armor.
I mean, that's probably
like,
why there's a little bit of armor left behind. They probably decided they didn't need that against bears and cougars.
So what's your theory behind it, guy?
Yeah, send it. Full send.
So my theory behind it is Utah's a really fucking weird place. Arizona's a really weird place. And the Colorado really knows no bounds. So at this point in history, sailing up the Colorado is a very feasible task. We've talked about the Grand Canyon and treasures being found in the Grand Canyon that have been cut off to pretty much everybody. And the Smithsonian is the ones who started the adventure and the expedition into the Grand Canyon. And then as soon as something was found, which they had to have had a hint that something was there for them to pay for an expedition into the Grand Canyon. Because people don't just spend,
go up there on a whim.
At that point, people don't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No, because they thought that pterodactyls and dinosaurs were still alive. Like, they were like, no, man, like, our money's better spent here fucking figuring out what's local. Like, we got to figure out what's here.
Well, so you're talking about...
It would have been millions of dollars to them back then.
Right. And this is, we're talking about G.E. Kincaid going through the Grand Canyon, right? And finding that stuff in the Grand Canyon. Well, yeah, we're a few miles from the Grand Canyon now, but we have, just a couple. A hop, skip, and a jump, really. Going up 12,000 feet. So even on their best day, 9,000 feet above sea level. So we're really getting outside of the Spanish explorer at this point, that's on boats and in the jungles of South America and Mexico. So at some point they followed that river up in some way, shape, or form, and they decided they were going to get off and start walking. So there had to have been a reason why they started walking and why they started hiking. And if you look back in history, not saying that history has not been really scrubbed from what really happened.
Right. Yeah. We're finding that out more and more every day.
We're not in Spanish territory. So was it, the North American Spanish Lewis and Clark going on an adventure with their own Sacagawea and
I don't think
just trying to map it out, or what was really going on there?
Why would you take so there's a couple of questions that I have. Number one is how many doubloons have been found? Number two is how much armor was lost and left behind? And three, how far, because Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada, California were all purchased from Spain in the Louisiana Purchase. So the question is, there's a big portion of tract of land that was considered Spain, right? So how much of that plays into that?
Not in the Louisiana Purchase, though. Louisiana Purchase had to do with the southern United States, and it was from the French.
I thought the Louisiana Purchase was the... yeah, that's right. Makes sense. So is the... Okay.
So you have the Spanish-American War.
Right.
Spanish-American War
happens after
Arizona, California, Mexico, New Mexico. Utah's not in the Spanish-American War.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay, cool.
No, if you look up Spanish-American War, Utah's nowhere to be found. But a lot of this treasure has been found above Moon Lake in the Uintas. And there's really no reason, no rhyme that it's there, but the Spanish did come in at one point and start digging for gold in the Uintas. So with the Spanish come doubloons, armor, swords, you know, all the accoutrements that come with, you know, Spanish conquistadors, and
Funny hats.
funny hats. There's definitely funny hats.
Great hats.
Yeah, they really did have the coolest hats. You know, like
I mean,
it was
they were
like Vikings,
stylish.
Spanish, coolest fucking hats. Really?
Exactly.
You know, and
Exactly.
mustaches.
Oh, the mustaches. Amazing.
The two Spaniards on the call actually have the great mustaches.
Exactly.
I just need to get one of those fucking hats though. Those metal
Ups-
metal
those
hats, you know.
Upside down boats. Upside down boats.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on up here, and so it's a really odd state, right? Because so much has really happened here, and I've already tossed out the theory that this really was the old world, because there's more pyramids here in North America than there is in the whole of Africa.
Mhm.
And you know, it for those of you that don't know, Egypt is in Africa.
Please,
Yeah,
God,
on the
don't
continent.
listen to our podcast if you don't know that. Please.
But
Please
so
back off.
there's more pyramids in North America, right? So did they just decide they weren't going to stop in Mexico, and they just decided to keep going north until they found snow, and then they were like, fuck this, and they all died? Do they keep digging for gold?
I have a very simple solution to this. Somebody fucking gave somebody a butter bar and like said, fucking, you're the guide.
Oh yeah, Lieutenant got lost.
Yeah. Motherfucker got lost. And they're like, and like his solution was like, I need all of you to carry everything that we have to the top of the highest place we can get to so we can see where the fuck we're at.
Well, and was it one of those situations where they came in summer and they're like, oh man, it's really fucking hot up here, and then winter hit and they were totally fucked?
They were how do you say Donner in Spanish? Donner?
It's probably Donner.
It's probably,
It's probably Donner. Yeah.
Like they were Donner before Donner was a thing, right? Like
it could have
just
been.
with one end.
yeah,
And you know, like the things in Utah are named really funky too.
Donner.
And
That's what it is.
it's not the Mormons that named all of it, that found the place. The names and stuff were here before they even got here. And I mean, the native people already knew. So I'm really, really curious. And I haven't dove into it enough yet to figure out what the native story is on the Spanish coming up here.
I was gonna say, what about if it was just like a you know, the natives, they ran into the natives at some point before they obviously got to the peak, and the natives just took them out and then took their loot and went and hid it somewhere where they didn't, you know, where they didn't think it would be found, and then somehow, some reason, that tribe disappeared or whatever, and then the story got lost, you know what I mean? And then the treasure ended up being lost to time.
So
See, the reason. Go ahead.
Okay. So the reason why I would say that would not be a thing was because, so if you go to when you start traveling the world and you start seeing different things, like different cultures have different value on different items. For instance, what good does gold do you in the desert? It doesn't do you a damn thing, right? Water is the most valuable, right? The water is the most important thing in the entire desert, right? Or even like gold in Greece. It didn't mean anything because iron, like forged iron, was the most important thing because you could battle and save your family. So if you look at it, right, copper, brass, iron were more important and more valued in Greece than gold. Why?
But it was still used as a currency. Gold was still used as a currency in Greece.
Right. So was copper, iron, and coal, and brass. The point of what I'm saying is, like, to speak to what the boat's saying is, I don't know if they would have been like, hey man, I'm gonna kill you and take your shit to the top of this fucking mountain. I think they would have been like, I'm gonna kill you and your fucking shit's just gonna be here because I don't want you here. We're gonna take the things like your food, your spices. Like, man, you can eat chicken like fucking 500 different ways, but it's really fucking good if you can fucking just throw a little salt and pepper on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, so my outlook would be a little bit different. Is the natives aren't going to come in and kill these Spanish conquistadors, because these guys walking up the mountain are going to look like Marines getting dropped off in an Osprey in the middle of a village in Afghanistan where they've never seen anything like that. We show up with all kinds of weaponry and, you know, body armor, and
Yeah, I
they're
guess maybe.
wondering what the fuck just happened. Obviously, at the start of the war, not the end, but, you know, the second we went into the outskirts of Iraq and then moved into Afghanistan, in these villages, they're like, what is this? You know, we might as well have been aliens.
Yeah.
What if the okay, so you bring up the alien thing. What if the natives are like, nah, man, we're still in touch with the Anunnaki, which is very possible, as they were fighting the giants, which is also documented and true. Look at, referencing Lovelock Cave. At the same time, so like they'd seen all this shit and they were like, they're nah, bitch, I'm not in. Like, we're gonna kill you, or we're just gonna let you fucking die on your own. We're not here to help you. Like, you're here. We've seen greater things than you. They talk about greater things than humans all the time, and they just let them fucking do fucking dumb lieutenant things in the woods.
Well, I mean, that would entail that they had to have given them like a Anunnaki cell phone on speed dial, so
Probably a thing.
so the Indians could call the Anunnaki.
But
Well, I mean, from looking at their drawings, it looked like they were just flying around, like they were just hanging out, like they weren't hiding or anything like that, and could have been one of those situations like you hear the 411s now, where you know what I mean, the alien saw him up that high and was like, no, these guys don't belong here, snatched him up, probed him a little bit, and then dropped him off on the top of this hill or top of this mountain, and maybe dropped him off in the wintertime and they couldn't get out, you know what I mean, and just ended up dying there, or they killed him and dropped him there, you know what I mean. As you hear about the stories where the people end up, like 3 days later, like 1,000 miles away from where they
Yeah.
got picked up, from where they disappeared from.
Yeah, it's like the guy that was cross country skiing in on Lake Michigan, and then his ski trails ended, and I think they found him in like California or some shit like a month later.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
crazy.
explain that one, science.
There's 100%
Explain
of
that
me.
one, science.
When that happens, I literally like flash back to like Toy Story the original with the claw, like, and all the little aliens, like,
Yeah.
the claw. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, that's actually probably more plausible than not. Like the Anunnaki's like fucking
Right.
cruising
Got their
around,
claw
like,
out.
gotcha, bitch.
Flicking
Right,
them up.
12,500.
Who are these
yeah,
shiny
you did-
motherfuckers with the cool hats?
Yeah,
I want one of those.
It's hard to recover from a nosebleed
Right.
when you come from sea level.
Have you ever had altitude poisoning? Because you got it now, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
you going down. You ain't coming back.
Yeah, 12,000 feet's nothing to fuck around.
No, fuck that. No.
But I thought it was very thought provoking that they're finding Spanish treasure and armor and things like that in the Uintas. So
Like, what do you do if you're out fucking like first off, you're fit enough to function well at 12,000 feet, which is pretty fucking fit. Okay. And like you're just like cruising, bebopping down fucking whatever weird trail you're running because you're a psycho. And like, oh, look, there's a Spaniard sword. That's really cool. Go pick it up. Fucking, what do you do? Throw it in your fucking not running ruck? And then
listen,
you just
bro,
like, oh, there's a fucking doubloon. And then you just fucking pull out a fucking little duster and like start dust. Like, who?
I'm just saying, like, if I find something shiny in the mountains while we're up there, I'm gonna take it, and I'm not gonna tell anybody about it. And I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna try and find a Spanish hat, and hopefully it's full of doubloons. And I'm gonna run around our property with a fucking Spanish sword, a hat, and just throwing doubloons at everybody.
wearing your
Because if I ever tell
America
anybody,
Speedo.
if I ever tell anybody about it, I'm gonna die, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
they're gonna take the treasure away from me anyway. So I might as well run around with a fucking sword, a hat, throwing gold at people.
Neighbors are gonna love you.
It's a weird concept. A
Thought
really weird.
provoking.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's even conspiracy. I think that's more like paranormal than conspiracy. Because like, what's the conspiracy against it? The
Well, I
question
mean,
that
it's not really a conspiracy. It's like a historical fact, but there's no like history or Spanish expeditions. And the Spanish actually documented their excursions very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their library didn't burn down. So the Spanish actually have a really good record of these things. So clearly what has happened here is a scuzz brush and a bottle of Simple Green has been busted out and poured and scrubbed all over history, so we don't know what the hell really happened.
Honestly, I think it's like one of three things, right? This is where I come from. And feel free to laugh along the journey with me, as I will laugh as well. So number one, there is a lieutenant for sure. In my mind, this is the number one fucking plausible thing, in the words of the doc. Plausible. Lieutenant gets lost, loses the map, can't figure out where the fuck he's at. Let's climb to the tallest peak. They climb to the first tallest peak. That peak's taller. Let's climb to that one.
We should
That
see our
peak's
boat
taller.
from here.
We can see wherever. Doesn't document it. Why doesn't he document it? Because he doesn't have anybody to fucking send any messages back because he left him 3 peaks behind. Much like, and every one of his NCOs is like, bitch, fuck you.
Got it. So we have a lieutenant that got lost and a bunch of really pissed off NCOs.
Yeah, so like, and then like
a bunch of pissed off NCOs, Spanish NCOs.
Yeah, 100%
from the 1400s.
100% a thing. Right?
I gotta
100%
see. You gotta
Like-
imagine what those fuckers look like.
So then there's a revolt that happens, and like everybody dies because like the NCOs are like, this motherfucker got us so lost, we are lost,
This asshole.
right? So that's the first one, and that's probably the most plausible in my mind. Second one, okay? They are traveling down the Colorado, and the Claw comes and snatches them bitches out of their fucking boat.
The Claw. That's what we should start to calling the fucking UFOs now. The Claw.
And they
I
just
love
fucking
that.
sprinkle them along the fucking 12,000 foot level. They're like, you don't all get to be together, right?
That means that some asshole was in the bottom of the boat with a fucking chest full of gold when the Claw came down and snatched him out.
100% real. Like,
You know?
yeah, there's the armorer who's a dick, right? And there's the treasurer who's even more of a dick. The bean counter.
Oh yeah.
And that motherfucker has like never seen combat before.
Fucking
Wearing
comptroller.
like just fucking this with some like
Fucking
roll
comptroller,
up.
dude.
He's got the fucking goggles and like the fucking roll up, like the roll up
Yeah.
mustache, right? And he's like, he's very and he's trying to be funny when he gets fucking abducted. He's like, I must ask you a question. No, wait, I'll shave it for later.
That was terrible.
No, like
Oh, you
that's
would've
how
said it in
terrible it
Spanish.
was.
Where,
And they
what's
left,
number?
and-
Okay. So
Right,
what's
they
number
left him-
3?
So the third thing is the
Oh,
third thing.
He
the
actually
third-
had a number 3.
Yeah. So the third thing is
Yeah,
is
he had
that
number 3.
the third thing is that maybe there was actually, so they're cruising down the fucking Colorado River, which is documented, right? And they come across like the that cave, or the cave that has like the giants in it or whatever. But we all have an understanding, or we believe that the giants slash Sasquatch slash Yeti slash everything have portals that they're able to transfer through. So they start exploring this cave, and they're carrying these pieces, and that is a drop off point. Like they walk through a portal and they can't get back, and they're lost.
Boom. Moon Lake.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
That's
So-
fucking terrifying. That's the
But that's-
scariest one. That's the
But that's-
Yeah, it
scariest
is.
one.
That
Think
one
about
made
it,
my
though.
nipples hard. I like
But
that
think
one.
about it, right? So you look at all the, the 411 Untold shit.
Hmm.
Like honestly, if you really look at the commonality between all those things, the only piece that is missing is a portal. that opens.
Right.
That's
There's
the only
definitely
piece.
There's definitely portals out there.
For sure.
I'm
But
a
like,
big believer in portals.
these dudes are fucking literally hunting in the middle of places they've always been, and a portal opens up. They don't know because the portal looks like everything else. They walk through the portal, and they're gone.
And you know how much granite in primary water is in the Uintas?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Makes sense. Wherever there's granite and water.
So they're
There's gonna be a portal.
they're literally fucking scaling the walls and looking for shit. They're taking their doubloons through the Colorado, and like they're trying to figure out a way to trade and like find gold or whatever with the natives down there. Walk into an area where there's giants or whatever, and they walk through a portal that's been opened that they don't know. They get dropped at 12,000 feet in the wintertime. You're not surviving that in fucking
No, you can. Yeah, you can walk down as fast as you want. You're not going to get out of that in time.
No.
And there was clearly no cell service.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like the thing.
I think the portal theory is the most sound.
That's the most solid.
I
to
mean,
me.
well,
Or the
actually,
claw.
I take that back. The lost lieutenant. The
Pretty
lost
close.
lieutenant theory is probably the most plausible, but
I like the portal
portals.
one the best.
And the thing is like all of the indigenous people, so the Ute tribes, everybody in those areas, because you're talking about the Uintas, right? So the Uinta Basin is just a little bit away from there. Okay, so you're talking about
the Paiutes, the Paiutes, and then the Navajo.
So you're talking about all these tribes that are in the area, and then the damn Uinta Basin, which was freaky deaky, I think, before the Utes and the Paiutes and everybody got in a fight, and the Navajo got in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was already sketchy before then. So even if they made it up the Colorado and they met up with the tribes and they were going from tribe to tribe to tribe, and they could have made it because the tribes could have been like, yeah, there's gold up there, assholes. And they went up there. And
But we're not going up there.
There's legit Spanish gold mines in the Uintas, which is pretty fucking wild in itself. There's videos on YouTube all over. And they're not just recent. Like, it's dating back for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it's not just one asshole telling one bad story, but nobody has the lieutenant theory or the portal theory.
So what if it's a combination of the two?
The lieutenants really, you know what? I have some stories about lieutenants losing drones, like $100,000 drones. And,
yeah, same.
You know, I'm the only person on this call that's non-wrecked a lieutenant. That was fun. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. I
didn't even know the lieutenants could be non-wrecked until I had to do it and had to look that up. That was fun.
So we know for a fact that the Paiutes and the Utes were battling giants, and the Navajo too. That's known, like documented in history. Like what other history is scrubbed or not scrubbed? They all still say the same stories. What if like the Utes or the Paiutes were like, don't go up there? And the lieutenant was like,
I'm gonna go up there.
I'm gonna go up there.
I'm gonna go up there.
I think we gotta go check this out.
I'm sorry. We gotta go, right? And they go climb up there, and then they're attacked by giants, and they are forced through a portal.
A red-headed six-toed giant.
Boom, bitches! You are now no longer where you were. And like the immediate thought to me is like, as a sergeant, as a squad leader, I'd be like, really, sir? Fuck, man. I'm eating you first.
I can't even shoot a back azimuth on this because I have no idea where we're at.
I'm literally going to eat you first.
Yeah.
So my question is then, where are the giants now? So do you think that they're still alive? They're just in another dimension, or do you think that they're all dead? I mean, because I know that like, you know, there's historical pictures, but who knows if they've been doctored or whatever or what, of these huge people, you know what I mean? 10, 11 feet tall and all this, which I figure are probably descendants of them somehow. But like the ones that were, say that the Navajo were fighting, where are they? Where are they? There's not a ton of bone evidence and stuff like that. I know
there is a ton.
I know there's
a ton.
I know there's a
especially
bunch
from Utah.
out there, but like I don't know, the portal crossing ones, are they still alive? They're just like,
yeah,
fuck,
dude.
fuck these guys for now, and we'll come back. Or is that like the Squatch? Is it Squatch now? Is it? Are they the giants that are coming back and forth?
So
Nah, I think
Al and
they're
I
out
have,
there, bro.
yeah, Al and I have talked about this.
They're just chilling and just kind of
Just snatching up elks and bears.
So Al and I have talked about this. Like we have different opinions on this. He thinks they're really dumb, and I think that they're not really dumb. I think they're just too smart to speak to us. I think that they actually thrive underground, and they come out, and like you have like moments when they come out and they're not supposed to be out, and then you like have like crazy disappearances, just like from people who are filming them, like the dude up in Jasper National Park.
Oh no, I think the CIA unalived him.
Oh, for sure. Not yeah, dude. Like
it wasn't the Giants that unalived him.
No. But like they're protecting the giant because they know the truth.
I think
right? The giant came out when he wasn't supposed to be out.
Yeah, get back in your cage.
Right.
So that's the thing is I think they're dumb. The reason why I think they're dumb, I think they're smart enough to stay away from us, but too dumb to try and like take you and like rip your arms off and beat you with them. Unless you're like up in their shit. I think they're like a bear. Right? They're not gonna fuck with you unless you're fucking with them. I think that's like the giant mentality. But I did just find out something that the gold belt goes right through where we have our cabin.
Oh, fantastic.
Have you panned for gold on your fucking little stream?
I dug a gigantic hole to put a shitter in it and did not find one gold nugget. I was hoping the whole time.
But did you do it where the river was? Because like that's where actually gold goes.
Well, yeah, if it's going down a river, but if you're like digging into the side of like a rock-filled mountain,
I wouldn't even count like that a river. I would count that as like a trickle.
No, it's moving pretty fast.
Yeah, it's moving.
It's an offshoot. So you didn't see it at its raging rapid. You saw it as a trickle at the very end.
Listen,
but it's an offshoot of the Bear River.
Go dig in that place when there is a drop and pan for gold. You'll find gold. Guaranteed.
I'm just not that dedicated to being rich. But on that note,
bro, you're Mexican. Like you can dig. It's like part of your blood. It's your lineage.
Doesn't look good on me, dude. I'm like a platinum guy, a palladium guy. Spring on the silver.
Yeah. There's a palladium mine right up the road from me.
Well, is that why
silver guy
thing is called palladium?
Actually, yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Well, that's neat.
Odd.
I made a connection. But on that note, thoughts have been provoked. People will look. Murph will call us full of shit. I can't wait.
I can't wait for the weird text messages that we get that I don't remember.
Exactly. You won't even remember that you were on a podcast tonight.
Thank God.
I do want to give some shout outs. I do want to give a huge shout out to you, the crew, the bottling crew, and the people that keep the meadery running. Huge ups, huge shout outs to you guys. I know it's hot. I know it sucks, but we couldn't be where you guys or where we're at without you guys. And I will forever love you for that. And
100% just give them all the credit because I am too stubborn to quit. So they put up with my bullshit. So I want to do a shout out to people on that same note. Two specific people. Heather Meyer, who owns the Beartooth Beanery and is our general manager of our store. And she's
literally created the mead garita with only mead. She's also created like the media colada, which is the OG with fucking pina colada mix, which is absolutely
the media
amazing.
colada.
And the mead mules. She's killed it. She just keeps innovating and driving forward.
That's kick ass.
And then also to Cadence, who was my apprentice, which is really weird to say that I have an apprentice because like I don't know if I can teach somebody to be as dumb as I am, but like I'm in on it, I guess.
I'm just glad you're not teaching how to do karate. But big ups, big shout out.
Karaoke.
Hey man, my karaoke is really good, bro.
It's a long black train.
So to Cadence, who literally embodies being an old breed at 18, works, shows up to work, doesn't complain, doesn't ask to go home really, just works, does whatever I ask her to do, has a thirst for knowledge. I'm super impressed, and gives me hope for the future. Like those two people literally make the company move forward. Because if I didn't have those two, I would have murdered everybody. Just so you know.
That checks out. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to meet her.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Did you look like Jackie Chan, but like Mexican?
Who?
Why Jackie Chan?
Because I can't even see your eyelashes right now.
Oh, dude, that's such a big smile on my face. I got two shout outs. Of course, everybody at the meadery. These next couple weeks are going to be super rough on you guys, and to just go through that with smiles and the perseverance is huge, and it's huge for the company, and I couldn't really thank you guys enough, and then there's not enough words. Really, and hopefully in the next 2 weeks we'll be up there, and we'll be able to lend a hand where we can. So, and I know it's not nearly as much as you guys do, but I know it takes a little bit of weight off you guys' shoulders. So I think we're both excited to get up there and do that.
Can't
Yeah.
wait.
So second shout out, I want to give to myself, because I'm going to be doing the fucking labels here in another week, and we're going to have to pull that midnight train again. So I'm going to give that out to me and give myself a little bit of motivation to not just say fuck this shit at midnight and actually make the changes and get them done. And that's it's nobody's fault except the people who have to approve it at the government. So yeah, it's nothing on any of our shoulders that we can control, but we will be doing that here in the next week or so. So yeah, shout out to me, and shout out to you for passing it on from you to me, and then back to you, and then to the government. So I know it's a pain in the dick.
I actually want to do a shout out to the local town, like the local people here. We're not. I mean, we're national. We've been to 30. We've shipped to 34 states, which is actually fucking mind-boggling to me. That's a fucking weird thing to say. In 10 weeks, we've shipped to 34 states. That's like consistently, right? So, but it's the local people that keep us open right now. They're like, that's the heartbeat of the Bearded Viking currently. It's Stillwater County. And for anybody who listens, like, you come in, you meet me, and I hang out with you and I talk to you. But anytime anybody drinks any of our hooch, I'm absolutely humbled by the fact that you talk to us and that you tell me consistently it's the cleanest alcohol you ever drink. It's like no burn, you get a good buzz, you don't have no hangover. That's a really big thing to me. I actually want to do before we transition, if you're cool with it, I'd just like to do a shout out to Roger.
Yeah.
So, for me, a little bit weird emotional thing. I talked to Roger 4 hours before he died. And that we're talking about men's mental health and repairing wounds and all those things, right? Roger and I became really close friends. Really, really close friends. He was one of the first people to sample the bathtub hooch, or toilet bowl hooch. He was there when I was kind of like alone, when I really didn't understand that I had a good group of men around me. Unfortunately, he died 2 days after his wedding. He was 51. So if you guys are listening, just JT Robertson on Facebook, follow me for like an hour and go to my page and then donate. Unfortunately, because he was a real estate investor, everything is tied up and everything in his name, and he didn't have health insurance. And his new wife is being straddled with all of the pieces there. And he didn't have a living will and testament in place because they'd been married for 2 days to bestow everything to Bonnie. So now that's all owned by the federal government because fuck them. And we're just trying to raise enough money to pay off his medical bills. Nothing past that. So $5 would help. So
go do it.
Love that dude.
Human. Yeah.
I got the notification at midnight from my daughter who was in Alaska. She sent me a text that said, "I'm sorry for Roger's loss, or tell Roger's family I'm sorry for the loss." And I said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she sent me a text that at midnight she was prepping to go fishing for halibut, and Roger died 4 hours after I talked to him. But remember this, right? So I was able to tell him that I love him and I was proud of him. So I always tell everybody that I love him when I hang up the phone with them. If I love you, I love you. And I want to make sure everybody knows those statements in this case don't go unechoed. There's a lot. You have to understand, like, I drank for an entire day. Not mourning his loss, but celebrating him. And I was able to do that because I didn't have to mourn him, because I said I love him and I was proud of him. Not many people get to do that, right? So, not to bring it down, but to Roger, love you, man.
Cheers, brother.
I have? All right. Well, cheers.
Anyway, sorry, not to bring it down, but it was super important for me.
Yeah, no, it's important words, and it's really kind of one of our mantras. You know, tell the people that you love them. Don't be afraid. Make it awkward. Tell them you love them.
And then to all the Mead-heads and Mead Maidens who listen to the podcast, who take the messages we're talking about and go and try to build your life with the weird shit that we say. It's wholesome shit, but still fucking weird that we impact anything. And to you two, for carrying like the torch that I can't carry anymore. This isn't my podcast anymore. It's y'all's podcast, and you guys are killing it, and I'm proud of you. So,
hey,
that means a lot.
We definitely have to do a cheers to the Spanish mustache, and you know, there might be some doubloons in this desk somewhere, but also
Balloons right here.
our yeah, they're not big. No, but we definitely have to do a shout out to our media buddies too at Two Mics Live, and so we got the two Mics, we got Kelly. They've been huge supporters of ours too. They're drinking the mead, wearing the swag, and inviting us on the show all the time. So
they're gonna get fucked up on Peach, bro.
Dude,
Like
Kelly's gonna go off on the Peach. Her talk fuse is gonna break again. You're just gonna see it go, and it's just gonna,
I can't wait till the two of you guys actually get to taste the peach for the first time.
I could eat a peach for hours.
Me too.
This guy and his ads.
It was such a good ad.
You and your ads, fucking Nicolas Cage, forever.
And hey, by the way, folks, like, share, subscribe if you're not already doing it, with notifications. And again, the peach will be out. Yeah, comment. Yeah, talk about it.
Comment.
We want to hear. And again, like we said, good comments we'll respond to and talk about it, and maybe even bring you on. So we like to hear what people think. We like to hear your opinions, even if they differ from ours. And if they do differ from ours, great. We'll have a discussion about it, and that kind of, like me and JT, it fuels common ground. So it's always a good thing. Also, the peach will be out very, 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 very soon. The 26th, you said? 26th?
Yeah, we're gonna get fucking hit on Lochner on the Huckleberry because I just looked at the fucking submission and I messed up. It's super dumb. So it says like.
Did you do it the Bearded Viking way? Just say you did it the Bearded Viking way.
Yeah, I did kind of, but like I was in the middle of fucking doing like it was like my fucking 7th resubmission. And it says, hey, enter the fanciful name on one line, and it says, enter your brand name on the other line, and I fucking transposed the two. Because, like, so they're going to be like, this isn't the right name.
Yeah,
and they're going to fucking can you just fucking not?
Hey.
Can you just not?
You know what? Today? On that, the word of the day is don't be a fuckstick. And if we're going to use it in a sentence, don't be a fuckstick.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say is still 20% off. Code word freedom at checkout, either online or the meadery, for the rest of the month. So if you're gonna get your orders in, like me and Al said last cast, get them in now, because it'll basically cover shipping, especially if you get a case. So lock it in, get it in, and get rid. Yeah, let it help us get rid of the mead that's in the meadery, so we can make room for more mead for you to buy.
You don't need those brain cells anyway. They were fucking weak. On that,
it's the freedom to meet up.
Yeah, do meet up. On that, this has been Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. Stay weird, Beardos.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
Shock 'em dead, gang.
I didn't even have to break in the Modelo's. I'm really happy about that.
Thanks.
I can't wait to not drink that tomorrow.
And we are out.